We're live, pal.
See, we're live.
Yeah, see?
Man, my guy hit me up and was like, "Yo, time to the show." I'm like, "Damn, I was watching the playoffs. Here I come."
Oh, my bad. Yeah,
No, no,
yo.
no,
I
no.
mean,
I got
I
caught.
didn't.
Bro,
Who's playing right now?
game's been on since 1 o'clock, brother. Golden State in Sacramento.
Okay,
Golden State in
so
Sacramento was the late game that came on today. So I was just honestly wrapped up. I was honestly just wrapped up in the game. Um, so Sacramento, first time being in the playoffs since uh, 2007.
the
If I'm not
Kangs are
mistaken,
back. The
Kang.
Kangs,
Shout out to the Kang.
Sacramento
It's the
Kangs.
year of the Kang. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
the Kangs.
Near
Yeah.
the cage. So I was in there watching that, and I had tabs on the little ones. You know how that be.
Yeah.
And then I was wrapping up, actually talking to Rich on the phone, and my joint was beeping, boop, 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 and I had my phone on, my watch was buzzing. I looked at my watch, and I'm like, shit, lost track of time, ran out here. Motherfuckers strapped everything up, hit you up like ready to rock, brother. So here we
Here
are.
we
Yeah,
are,
we ready to
reasonably
rock.
late. As long as
Reasonably late.
hey, we stay reasonable. As long as we stay reasonable. Yeah, But yo, shout out to
Episode
Rich. Yo, Rich, we gotta get him back on here. We got
200,
420 coming up,
man.
200. Yeah, I gotta talk to him about some Marvel news, man. I'm hearing that Galactus might be in Eternals, and I'm curious about what he thinks about that. Yeah, and Days, yo, shit, you don't know Galactus, shit, bringing that shit back. Listen, now we gonna find out who Galactus is, shit. Listen, inside joke there, but yeah, we had another podcast called what was that?
Three
Three
niggas in
nig
the village.
three niggas in a milli, yo.
Three niggas in
Three
the village.
NW, 3NM, excuse me. 3NM. And we talked about the Avengers, after the Avengers Infinity War. And we were talking about, Galactus being the next big bad. Right now, obviously, it's Kang. That was years ago, but Kang is the next big bad. But I think that they are kind of squandering Galactus if they're just going to throw him out there for an Eternals movie. I think Galactus could be bigger than that. But I'm curious what Rich and Days would say about that.
Well, I would say, squandering. You have to make this next phase and stage and these next characters matter. So with Eternals, not really. Again, it came out during the pandemic. I don't know how
Yeah.
good it would have done anyway. But
Yeah.
at that point in time, Marvel was on a can't lose streak. 2019 was just Infinity Wars. It was in
Yeah.
games, right? Like they was riding really high. So again, coming in 2020, I don't know how bad Black Widow would have done. I don't know how bad Eternals would have done. I don't know how
Man.
bad all of that would have.
Scarlett Johansson had to sue them to get her money. So yeah, it definitely changed things up. But I think even the production of it, I think that Eternals gets a bad rap. Me personally, I think the movie gets a bad rap. I liked it because I'm a very big fan of mythology. I love mythology. Like I've always been interested in Greek mythology. I know they got I'm playing God of War. That is more Norse mythology. Like with the Vikings and all that stuff, Asgard, Valhalla, Thor's in there, so all that stuff is like Norse mythology. What they bring in is like, the astrology signs into you know, Eternals and how things were created and how it really kind of like if you can read between the lines, it's also kind of like if you can see it, it's also like a pro life or I mean a pro choice movie. I feel like I kind of looked at it as like a pro choice, and I know people don't want to make politics into Marvel and all that stuff, but it kind of can be looked at as a pro choice movie. But if it also it has its own take on it on its own, you don't gotta look at it from that political stance either. But I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the Eternals, but making the Galactus the villain for that when he could be a huge villain for the entire Avengers, which he usually is in the comics, I think is kind of not necessarily squandering him, but he better not die at the end of that bitch. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, what I would say, yeah, he can't be Kang.
He can't be Kang, nah.
Kang.
It can't be Kang.
Well,
Nah.
I mean,
Kang ain't really dead though.
Well, speaking of niggas who ain't really dead, shout out to CM Punk.
Oh
Right?
shit! Shout out to CM Punk. Yes,
Yes,
he won't go
that
away.
nigga ain't really dead. And the multiverse of what is wrestling right now. I will say this: that he knows how to keep himself relevant, even though it's infamous. Right? We
Yeah.
made that conversation a couple weeks ago. It's difficult being in a situation of being infamous. A lot of people don't really like being infamous. We're seeing right now Dax and Cash live in that world of
Infamy?
an infamy, right? Where they kind of don't like it. They're on the cutting edge of, you know what I'm saying, being something very much revered, something very much celebrated, something very much needed. Because the Young Bucks for some time and the New Day for some time and the Usos for some time were considered the epitome of wrestling, but the tag team wrestling, but the Revival was the Revival because of what they brought to NXT during their time, right? So
Mhm.
they have had an uphill battle to maintain and garnish their type of respect in this whole type of sphere, this thing, right? Because again, people don't care about tag team wrestling. Tornado tag is something that it's not really a lot of people that understand and sink their teeth into old school dynamic psychology of tag team wrestling that a lot of us still hold near and dear to us. So again, they made themselves top five, right? Top five,
did.
top five, top five. They
But they're trying to be top guys, which is number
bro.
one.
Shh.
And to be
So
number one right now in this era, you got to be spectacular. And I think that FCR arguably can be looked at the number one tag team in
but
the
see,
sport. But
that's why I come. That's why I'm saying that's what a punk and FTR kind of comparison thing is, right? Where I don't think Punk has the ability to garner the ability to be a top guy. Now we treat him like a top guy. We treat him with the top billing because his name, his cachet, everything is done previously. But when we do that with FTR, we do know that they can go out there and put on a fucking 7-star FTR type match. They can go out there 60-minute tag team match. They can go out there whatever we ask for them, we can. And I'm not saying Punk can't. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I don't say it because he had a great match with Darby. He had a good match with MJF. He had a good feud with MJF. He had a good match.
So he has value, but
exactly.
is a juice worth the squeeze? And that's what it's always been with Punk, and especially at his age now too. So and he's getting injured.
This nigga's Cam Newton of wrestling.
He's Cam Newton right now. Like, you know, talk about it. Infamy, you know, very polarizing figure. Some people love him, some people hate him. You know, he's still he knows how to keep himself relevant no matter what. You know, you haven't played in 2 years, but you're still relevant. He hasn't really wrestled a whole year since what 2000, like mad long, 7 years, you know, but
probably go back to 9-10 years when we're talking about like a full schedule. Like
yeah.
You see him all the time putting the work in.
And I don't think he's supposed to do that right now, by the way. But I think that, you know, shit, like the injuries he's had when he came back, he clearly loves wrestling. That's the thing I always didn't like about Punk is that he kind of played like hard to get with wrestling and like, oh no, I'm done with it. He would talk down on it all the time. But the fact of the matter is, you can tell this nigga loves wrestling, and he always had some comment on it. No matter where he was and doing whatever, he always had to talk about wrestling because he loves it. That's what he's best at in the world. You know, he said it himself. You know, like, so now he's at a place where we have to beg him to come back. He finally gets the bag, comes back to AEW. He says it's the right time and place for him, and he wants to kind of be treated like the belle of the ball, kind of, you know. And I guess you can say that he is, in a sense, not that he wasn't humble at all, but I think that getting back into the new age of what today's wrestling is, and the young guys backstage AEW, not WWE, which has a structure of like, you know, a certain way of things operating backstage, or this is AEW, brand new company where, yo, if you have a problem with somebody, shit, you can probably handle that yourself. No one is there to freaking go to and be like, listen, I got a problem.
That's my thing and then I don't want to get bogged down to a regurgitated.
And I don't want to go back to everything regurgitating, but I'm saying that I think it was a toxic environment for him he's like a Molotov cocktail.
But that goes back to what I've always said. He brought that. Look how many look how many ex WWE guys, I don't like what went on there. I don't like the writers. I don't like the management thing. I left on Jericho, Mox, Keith Lee, Adam Cole,
Alistair Andrade, yeah.
bro, Dean Malenko's in the office. Arn Anderson's in the office. Like, we're talking about people who we know that got treated poorly, right? And Punk is up there. Punk did not come in there with Jericho and bury the hatchet and say, let's bury these motherfuckers. Punk didn't do that. He didn't come in and say, I'm a team. He didn't Carmelo Anthony his way back onto a team. He laughed at when niggas said, do you want to come off the bench? You're like, yeah, nigga, you might need to consider coming off the fucking bench, but not saying that you're diminished, because you're still going to be in the fourth quarter. We still need your scoring. We still need your knowledge. We still need your presence.
He wasn't even coming off the bench. He was champion.
The nigga was starting and was getting all the buckets.
Yeah,
the nigga was running plays through CM Punk.
Within the short time he was there, he was 2-time AEW champion, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Bro, we talking about Bryan Danielson, right? Who came there and was like, yo, I just want to have good matches. I just want to get that feeling. I just want to be me again. And CM Punk being him again, we see what him is, right? Him can't last long anywhere. Him runs out his welcome very shortly after people saying that, man, ROH champion, juice ain't worth the squeeze. Go to WWE. We know that shit. We know that is the dream to go. But look at every other ROH champion that we know of, and who has the reputation that he does, going on 3 different companies.
Here's the thing about CM Punk. Right now, there's buzz that he might be coming back to AEW. He clearly wants to wrestle. FTR has been talking, saying, listen, we talk to Punk every day. They love the guy, and he thinks he wants to come back. So they're trying to broker something with AEW, Tony Khan, and meet halfway. Who am I or you to say the guy can't do what he loves to do and wrestle? And who's anybody to say that? Even Chris Jericho shouldn't be able to want to be the one to say whether he can come back or not. So I don't get why they're like, oh, we got a broker deal between him and Chris Jericho. Got to sit down and see if they're going to work together. All this shit is bullshit. If Tony Khan is willing to pay this guy to come out there and work, then he should work.
Well, hold on. We saw this with your beloved Jets. Okay. Hey man, we paying a lot of money to Zach Wilson. He got to play. They said, bull fucking shit. You better play motherfucking Mike White. You better put Sauce Gardner better play quarterback before that motherfucker play.
But here's the thing, though.
This
is a bad parallel, because Zach Wilson, you can do that to a guy who's causing playing bad, who's a young talent. Aaron Rodgers CM Punk's more like Aaron Rodgers. He's a little bit, he could be a little bit toxic, a little bit out there, but he's super talented, and he does have, a track record of playing very well, of being an MVP. So that's what CM Punk is. But do you bring him into a toxic environment?
The juice ain't worth the squeeze there. I hear that comparison. I'll not let you in. But I just want to say that I would say this. When you have a reputation, you don't get that many chances. So when you say that I hear you. I'm never trying to stop a nigga bag, because I know what it is to go get a bag. Jericho, but what I'm saying is it should be a vote, because yes, if Tony Khan wants to pay him, listen, if Tony Khan wants to pay him, I gotta trust Punk. Punk gotta trust me. It gotta be business out there. And my thing is that we see you want to shoot. Okay, fuck it. Let's shoot fight then, Punk. We already see how that fucking shit go. Let's pay some money to see him get your ass whipped. Like, let's do business. And if that means you gotta come and eat some crow because we've asking you to come eat some crow because you're a toxic fucking person, then you need to come and admit that so we can bring you back in. Nigga, like, what do you mean?
I think what Punk did at that press conference, he should be ashamed of. Absolutely.
And apologize.
Is it? And apologize. Absolutely. So, but I don't think he needs to go and ask Chris Jericho for his job back or the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega. He needs to talk to Tony Khan and say, listen, do you believe that I can be an asset to your company? Do you believe that I can work for you and be somewhat of an asset to
Of
continue
course
building
he
upon? If Tony,
can.
then you pay the guy
No, but
and you bring
Tony
him back. He's still
no,
under contract.
okay, hold on. Yes, Tony Khan can pay. Who the fuck does business with him, dude? Who works with him? Who can trust him? If CM Punk can only come to Tony Khan and be like, am I an asset? Then you need to bring me back. No, if CM Punk can come back like, yo, I'm an asset. I add to this business. I took away from this company by being a dumbass twice. I broke my fucking foot and I fucking injured this new Triple Crown champions that we just had that fucking night. I had to forfeit.
That's why I said he should apologize. I'm on the side of apologizing.
That's not kowtowing to Jericho and the Bucks. That's not kowtowing and asking for your job back. That's me acknowledging that I fucked up the job that everybody had, and I put everybody in turmoil.
Listen,
and I gotta come back and be like,
this has nothing to do with Chris Jericho. It's Tony Khan, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. If he can get them in a room and they piece it out, everybody else will shut the fuck up. I don't care who's on the roster that we shouldn't bring Punk back. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Well,
if they piece it out, you guys shut the fuck up and go work.
Well, hold on. You say that you don't know what equity Jericho has with that company when he was the person to legitimize that company. We talked about it here on the pod.
Got niggas like Brandon Cutler tweeting shit. Like, who the fuck are you?
Hold on. We ain't talking about Brandon Cutler and everything like that. But what I am saying is that behind the scenes, Jericho is what Punk think he is as a quote unquote locker room guy, right? As far as like I can touch and I can communicate and I can get to where I can at least, get my piece across with anybody. Punk can't literally do that. So yes, if Punk pieces up with the Bucks, that means he the only nigga that he hurt. Punk hurt the company, bro. Punk was the guy. Punk was the person that they put the strap on. Punk was the $1 million draw. Punk was the reason why we tuned into the TV. But when he left, did he not hurt the business? Did he not hurt the company? Yeah. He got to come apologize to Mox. Hey, man, I know you got married. I know you got a kid. I'm sorry you had to come back and clean up my shit. Like, he got more people to apologize to than just the Bucks and Kenny and Hangman, right? Like, Punk has to be.
Here's what I would say.
Company,
when I talk about Punk and apologizing for his part in what took place, Tony Khan deserves an apology. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks deserve an apology. They can get in a room and piece it up. They deserve an apology. Everybody else, Punk can go out. Punk can go out. Hangman, okay, Hangman. But apparently he wasn't even involved in that fight. He was gone already. But I'm talking about that day. Fuck everything else. Everybody else who deserves an apology for messing up the business, he can go out to the ring, cut his promo, and say and speak his piece. Does he have to sit down and talk to Chris Jericho about whether he's willing to work with him? I don't know. I don't know if Chris Jericho needs that. Maybe he is that guy. But here's the thing: I look at Chris Jericho like Undertaker. He had a role backstage throughout the 90s and beyond of being this leader to the point where he was like, yo, if Shawn Michaels does not lay down for Stone Cold at WrestleMania, I'm going to whoop his ass. He was out there in Gorilla, sat down in Gorilla for that match, and he had his fight gear on. He's about to, kick ass he did. He did business. Shawn Michaels did business. So that's Chris Jericho right there. I get he's trying to protect the business, protect what he's working for. Absolutely. But he's not the barometer of whether Punk should get his job back is what I'm trying to say. If Vince
you brought up Jericho as I'm not saying you, but bro, I don't want to get bogged down like Jericho's the barometer. He isn't. But when I am saying that if I'm bringing another veteran guy in to my veteran locker room, that veteran has to meet the veteran. It's almost like you can't marry my daughter without fucking talking to the pops, bro. And I'm not saying that Jericho's the pops or anything, but it's the respect portion of it. You want to say that if Tony Khan, the respect thing is like, yeah, Tony Khan pays everybody checks. So Tony gotta listen. Tony and Punk, I don't give a fuck. Nigga, bring Tony with you. Y'all both gotta come and say, why is this nigga important and why is he bringing back all this shit? Because the juice is worth what squeeze. We got MJF. We already had to deal with this sourpuss motherfucker holding up the company. You know what I'm saying? Like, we seeing, like, if you cave in to too many people, nigga, what company are you? What is the tone of the company?
And I'm all for Tony Khan and Chris Jericho having their conversations, but this is a Tony Khan decision, and Tony Khan has to put on his big boy pants and say yes or no. Tony Khan has to say, listen, as Vince McMahon of AEW, what he says should go, and everybody else will fall in line. Now, you may not like it, Chris Jericho, but yeah, you can sit down with Tony and have that conversation. If Tony then says, hey, you know what, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, that should be a decision he makes on himself. Fuck Chris Jericho's opinion. He should make that decision for himself, and then and work from that place. And that's how I look at it. You know, I think that it's tough being the boss, but it looks like sometimes the inmates run the asylum, and the fact that you even got to say Chris Jericho should meet with him is another staple of that. It's another, like, you know, example of Tony Khan is not in charge of, you know, running this shit, of where he's trying to take the vision and go with AEW. It's not as much as Chris Jericho is influential and absolutely impactful on the development and growth of AEW and the inception of it as well. He's not the guy who cuts the checks, and I don't believe he's the guy who should be determined if CM Punk gets his job.
Well,
That's all I was trying to say.
No, I know that's what you're trying to say, but I don't think that he is, bro.
Okay,
I mean,
then.
like,
All right.
No. I mean, but yes, you gotta talk to your locker room leader. Like, yes, you have to talk to your EVPs. You have to talk to your financial guys. Like, hey, do we cut ties with this nigga? You do have to. It's not just a Tony Khan emotional. Hey, I like CM Punk. I want to bring this guy back.
I never said emotional. I said that he has to make the decision. Actually, he shouldn't be emotional. It should be very businesslike. Hey,
But
does he offer something to your vision going forward? Yes or no? If it's a yes, sign him back. If not, cool.
I hear. We're saying the same thing. But if Tony Khan's philosophy is, I include the people that are within my business to help influence my decision making, and if
then he should stop.
Wow.
I mean, I believe that. I think that you're always going to be catering to your. It's always gonna. You can't serve two masters, man. You can't build a business and then say, you know, my employees are going to be the ones to decide where the business go, because there's always going to be different self-interest in that, including CM Punk and Chris Jericho. You can't let them be the ones to determine, hey, how we book a match, or or what city we go to. These things are, or who do we hire? Like, I get you can take input from these guys. Absolutely, they're veterans, they're smart, wise guys in the business. But my point is this: I want Tony Khan to stand up and be a man about what he does. I just want him to be a man about listen. If you choose to bring CM Punk back, we're hearing all this stuff on Twitter and everywhere talking about he has to talk to Chris Jericho. No, he has to talk to Tony Khan. Like, that's in my mind, I think. And I get you saying no, he should go to talk to Chris Jericho. That conversation will happen.
No, but I think
that conversation will happen probably anyway.
I think you're getting caught up in the Twitter stuff. I think you're getting caught up in the social media stuff where, like, Tony. Okay, this is the owner, right? We talk about Woody Johnson. We talk about Joe Douglas. We talk, right? They make the decisions, but are they in the locker room? No. But you are responsible for making the decision. But you do go to Robert Saleh. Hey, what about this? You do go to your best players. What about this decision? You do consult within your organization. Although Woody Johnson is the check signer, although Joe Douglas is the decision maker as the GM, you do boss up and be like, I'm not just going to make this decision based on, and I'm not emotional, but I'm just saying, based on whether it's business or whether it's, hey, yes, CM Punk business-wise makes sense, but can he function in my locker room? Hey, Jericho, you got the post to the locker room. You know about the Bucks. You know about Moxley. You know about Danielson. You know about the young guys. How do they really feel about him? Because if I'm just going with my decision and the fucking FTR, then yeah, he'll be back next week.
But my point is this, and I get you. I hear where you're coming from. I'm not trying to dismiss what you just said about having the cohesive unit of the locker room, seeing how he would work in the locker room now. That's a conversation that needs to be had, absolutely. But I think we're saying the same thing. It should be a decision from Tony Khan, period. And when he potentially does come back, those conversations happen organically on its own. Now, also, you're always going to have locker room turmoil to some degree. It's a competitive environment. To some level, you're going to have competitive environment where people are not going to get along all the time. They still have to learn to do business, and that's what I'm trying to say here. Is like even if there is beef, figure out a way to do business. WWE, not all these niggas in WWE like each other. There's a reason why but the structure works because they don't sit around and say, you know what, hey, you guys don't like each other. All right, then I'm gonna do this thing. They just say, fuck it, I'm doing this no matter what, and you guys figure out your attitude, or else we'll put you on the freaking shelf. You know, if you guys want to figure.
I mean, look at it. Seth been talking out of school, bro, and. I mean, I don't know if he's talking out of school, if they're working an angle, if he's just being honest, but like some of that shit legitimately makes sense. And like, yo, Cody coming in being the guy makes me feel some type of way. And Cody spoke on it. I'm a big Le Batard fan, and he spoke on the show. Didn't want to bring it up, but he's like, yo, we almost got into it. Seth doubled down and was like, yeah, it wasn't almost like that, but it was like that. Like, we don't like each other. And it's not to the point, again, Cody's not toxic, though. Seth is not toxic, though. It's an ego thing with that. What I'm saying is that if there is something genuinely that is toxic within the locker room, you get rid of that.
But let's define toxic.
Whether it is Terrell Owens, whether I can name the list down to sports, we can do it. Like, it don't matter. You get rid of that shit.
All right, listen, man. Let's take the glove off. Listen, let's define toxic. Let's define toxic because I'm not a big Punk fan, dog. Listen to me. I'm not a big Punk fan, but I do think there's two sides to every story. Right now, the Young Bucks are freaking, having matches every single week, and Kenny Omega's out there. They fought too, and they're EVPs. And you know what the funny thing about it is, yes, Punk had his media scrum, and he talked mad shit that he didn't need to, but that was a buildup of something that happens prior. So like we don't talk about none of that shit.
But he already did. How many times? That's what. And
so
this is
my point. Go ahead.
And I'm sorry. And I know we didn't want to get stuck here, but this is my thing. He already did that on live television. He already went against the grain, and boys in the back is like, dog, what? How long you been in the business? And you shooting from the hip? What are you doing? You put our champion, Adam Page, in a bad spot by calling him a pussy on national television and know that he could not come out to defend himself. Now, why would you do such a thing like that? Then you double down and do it in the press, and you thought niggas was going to touch you after the press conference? You what? Oh, nigga, you did it twice? Oh, that's what I'm saying.
But let's be honest though. If he just talked in the press conference and they didn't have that fight, would this be a conversation?
Because they all pussy. That's why.
Oh my God.
Just listen, Chidi. I'm hearing you. Listen, Adam Page already swallowed his pride. He called them irresponsible, couldn't run a target. Who you talking about? Who are you talking about? The nigga who influenced Tony Khan to bring you in? That's what I'm saying. Tony Khan was influenced by the same niggas that he got to talk to bring you back. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, but not Chris Jericho. But yeah, that makes sense to that. I told you they got to piece it up. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to front that they got to piece it up. My thing was this. If he talked, like if CM Punk talked and they didn't fight afterwards, would this be a thing where do we bring CM Punk back or not? Because if the fight added to it, and that's the reason why we're here, then the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega shouldn't be here either. If it's a debate, But no, you brought them back, bring back CM Punk, and then piece it up. Like that's how I look at it.
Well, when we say define toxic, when you took off the gloves and we never really got there, I think I displayed it. 3 companies, niggas don't like you.
You can't do that. It's not fair.
Why is it not fair?
It's not, because here's the thing. If you decide to bring somebody in, you know who they are, right? You decide to work with them. You come in, you bring him in. You have a contract signed. He has still on the contract. He
Bro,
wants to
here
do
you
his
go.
job.
Here you go, Eric. Here you go with this whole honoring the contract thing, bro. Like,
No,
pay the
it's
nigga
let me finish, bro. Let me finish. He has a contract. You decided to bring him in. You can't now, after all this stuff that's happened, say, well, yeah, in the other companies, this happened in our ways, happened in WWE. So yeah, we shouldn't honor the contract and keep going
No,
forward.
that's not even what I'm
Because
saying.
you're saying toxic. You're trying to define toxic, but you're bringing up other shit.
I'm saying that. Listen, you said it. You said it. He came back. He said it's the right place, right time. Well, why did you change? Because I'm assuming that AEW did not bring in CM Punk that did ruin WWE locker room or ruin ROH locker room. They did not think that they were bringing in that asset. That goes back to the Terrell Owens, Kyrie Irving. I'm not thinking I'm bringing in as Dallas, Philadelphia Eagles, Terrell Owens, or San Francisco. I'm thinking that he told me that he changed. And silly me, it's silly me because the talent's there, right? I got to bring him in. So when he comes in and he can't work with Bill Parcells, my nigga. I mean, good fucking grief. Yeah, I'm not finna make it all on. I'm not gonna make it all on TO.
And that's my problem with you because you said Bill Parcells. That's my problem with you. You said Bill Parcells. Who the fuck is Bill Parcells in AEW? Who's the correlation there? They don't got a Bill Parcells. That's my point. They don't got a Bill Parcells. People are just running amok saying whatever the fuck they want. Like this is no Bill Parcells. Tony Khan need to be Bill Parcells and tell them, all right, this is what's gonna happen, and you guys go out there and fucking do what I told you to. Shit.
Wait, so you want Tony Khan to be Vince McMahon?
He needs to turn into some kind of form of boss, and not necessarily Vince, but you got to make the own choices yourself. You can't let people be. You can't. First of all, you can't be talking on Twitter. I like that he's calmed down on that shit. You can't be letting people just go off and just say whatever and decide whether CM Punk comes back or not. It's on you, bro. And I hope that he's not being influenced by Chris fucking Jericho. At the end of the day, I get it. He's a legend, but that's like not the reason. That's not how you do business, bro. So like, and it's not. And to be honest, it's not fair to CM Punk if that's the barometer. And I hope it's not. Well, I'm not saying it is, but
no, the barometer is, again, like I said, the barometer is, Chidi. It ain't Chris Jericho. It ain't just the Young Bucks. It's the fucking whole locker room and the functionality of the business. There is no business if the wrestlers don't want to go and perform. So if
then they can go home. If he decides to keep CM Punk, you can go home then. That's my point. And I'm just saying that they can go home. Right now, you got people like Drew McIntyre. Let's talk about it.
That's not a good boss. That's not a good boss.
Listen, let's talk about it. You got mad talent on the AEW roster. You got, even WWE, you got mad talent on the roster. Drew McIntyre blacking out his shit because he's mad. Seth Rollins is like upset with his spot. People are going to be upset. Who cares? If I make the decisions here, if I have a contract that I'm trying to honor, if we can piece it up with the people that mattered about the incident, you guys who are in the back, shut the fuck up and do your job. If you don't like it, go home. That's how I look at it, And you say it's not a good boss, but they're not the ones who decide who play the check. You're not a good employee if you're not doing your job. That's how I'm dead ass looking at it.
That's the whole thing about CM Punk, dog. He's not a good person to work with. So if you're hiring somebody and I have to work with him, bitch, you gotta consult me. The fuck are we arguing about? You're not just about to bring nobody on staff and you're going to say, I'm as important as he is, and I don't have no fucking say that I got to work with this motherfucker.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying Tony Khan got to be Vince, but this will never happen in WWE. If Vince wanted to bring somebody in, they get brought back Hulk Hogan, they get brought back all types of people, Goldberg, they get brought back Chris Jericho. There's so many things that have happened where people have left to come back because he said, you know what, it's good business.
Okay, Chidi,
at the end of the day.
Hold on, let me just say this. Okay, Hulk Hogan, he got brought back to WWE. The locker room did not fucking like that. And it was so what? But guess what? That had a resounding effect on the morale of the people that worked for the company. And me and you noticed that as fans. We said we didn't like it as human beings. We said that it's unethical. And as a boss, he should have consulted with the people before he brought Hulk Hogan. So how are we not saying the same thing? And I know CM Punk ain't call nobody nigga. He ain't motherfucking do no shit like that. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is how he treats how the people view him matters.
I do, and I think I agree with that. And that's why I said he does have to apologize.
Now,
but when it comes down to it, it's not like, you know,
I don't think it's not
he called people out because he was pissed about the way things were going with the EVPs and Colt Cabana and having to address certain things.
But
it's
a character flaw with him. And my thing is that if people are saying like, yo, dog, the content of your character matters for this company because that's what they say, right? I don't think they hire bad people. We don't have a problem with listen, Vicky Guerrero said what she said. Listen, we don't really get into a lot of drama and shit like that. This is the most we talk about drama. But Vicky Guerrero got some shit going on her family shit. And AEW said, nope, and deleted that nigga off the alumni list, off the active roster list. She ain't been on TV. Listen, they don't really do well with bad character people. So I'm not saying that CM Punk is a bad character on that level. But what I am saying is they have shown the leadership quality as the company to say, hey, we're going to be inclusive in the decision-making process.
I hear you. And so I think that's fine. But I think that the decision should be Tony Khan's, and he should be logical about it and say, listen, do you have a plan going forward with CM Punk? If it's yes, go forward with it. And people need to fall in line and start to and piece it up. Like it's not doesn't mean that you have to make it a toxic environment moving forward. You can put stipulations in it. Yo, CM Punk, A, B, C. This is what we need from you.
He has to help that.
Punk needs to do his job. Yeah, Punk needs to necessarily do it. Punk needs to do his job too. I'm not saying it's not on Punk to figure this out too. But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to talk about it further, but that's my take on it. I still don't believe that it's on the locker room to decide if he comes back or not. I don't.
I would say, listen, I mean, put on this. We dabbled on it a little bit with listen, Drew McIntyre, right? Drew McIntyre, like his gripe is what? Money. We can offer you money, but if you don't like the money that we offer you, yeah, go out, test the market, go get it. But like you say, go again. WWE is the model that a lot of people are trying to be an alternate of, not replicate, and that's my thing. So I hear you, but if we are seeing the alternate become a replication, then it tends not to be an alternate.
Let me ask a question. Do you think it's a coincidence that Jon Moxley said this is the most bullshit drama that he's ever seen in the company he's worked for? And he's been working for like 20 years wrestling. Do you think that's a coincidence? You know, I don't. And he's worked for multiple companies. So I think that, yeah, you don't necessarily want to be WWE. And I don't want it to be WWE. But I do think there's a certain level of
coincidence happened when CM Punk came along. That's what I didn't hear the whole interview. I'm sorry, I listened to the whole interview. He didn't say that, but I'm saying we didn't hear bullshit prior to. We didn't hear the Salem was running amok prior to.
Didn't Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara get into a fight? Other things have happened there. There's other situations that have occurred backstage, probably things we never even heard about even. That have been, drama filled, so it's not just, I can't just put it all on CM Punk. Yeah, I think that he's a part of it. Don't worry.
But Jericho was there when he fucking fought Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like when we talk about who's Jericho, right? Jericho's the guy that wasn't in on the business and thought Randy was legitimately hurt and caught. You say Taker was in Gorilla, right? The nigga Jericho was talking shit. Brock was like, "Man, get out of here." And Jericho was like, "No, motherfucker, you got to answer for that. I don't like that shit." And Brock was like, "I don't answer this shit." And Jericho stole off on that nigga. Like, you not like, nah, nigga, I protect this. You know what I'm saying? And niggas had to come in and be like, "Whoa, niggas, to work." Jericho's like, "You better tell me something." You better fucking, you almost whooped this big bitch ass. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
okay. We not whooping nobody's ass. He ain't whooping Brock's ass. Sorry, but he got lucky. He got lucky. They broke that shit up, man. Shit. Watch out. And now the Painmaker ain't doing shit. Painmaker definitely ain't doing shit.
Yeah, what if he hit Brock and Brock was like,
Listen, man. Listen, I respect Chris Jericho, I do, but
no, but
I think that people give him way too much.
He gets a lot more. Yeah,
way too much role in, like, what should be going down. And I get he can talk. You can talk all you want, Chris, but
well, Seth kind of feel. I mean, Seth feels like he needs to have that equity with WWE. And my thing is that who's right? Right? Like Seth has carried WWE in a time when Roman cancer was in remission, where Brock, after remission, Brock held up the title.
yeah,
He's IC champ. He had to go with Bray. Like all of the things that seemed like, and Seth held it down, didn't complain, and then now Cody comes in and gets his spot. Like why Seth can't be? Seth want the Jericho.
I'll say this,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
right now, Seth Rollins, I don't know where he goes, and that's the thing. He's done everything he had to do. He's been great United States champion, great Intercontinental champion, great single star. He's worked with everybody on the roster from Rey Mysterio to Edge to Cody, and had great angles with all of them. Like, I don't know where you go with Seth. Maybe him and Walter now. And I can see why he's pissed the fuck off. Like, you have me go out there Raw after Mania just to have them sing music, and then I'm supposed to do a promo. You cut the shit while I'm in the fucking ring. Yeah, I'm tight. And then the next week, I'm there backstage. You don't even use me at all. I can see why he's upset. I can see why. And Cody's getting a promo. Like, so obviously Cody and Brock have their angle, and he's like, it hasn't stopped. Cody's still the man on Raw, and he's. Yeah, I would be upset. I would be a little bit stomping my feet if I was Seth, and rightfully so, because Seth does deserve better. But when there is a certain type of momentum, you got to go with it, and Cody has it.
Well,
it doesn't mean
this kind of feels like the Sasha thing, right? Sasha's like, I'm still good, but they got to build up Rhea. They got to build up Bianca. Absolutely. Now, I know you like, well, that's only two rosters. But like, yeah, they the mainstays right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the new merch sellers. They're the new front of the line.
The face of the division. Yeah.
Right. So when you look at Seth, bro, he sang the music. He won the titles. He got the spot. Like, do you want the WrestleMania main event? I can hear you on that. But like, we still paying you money, right? Just like you want to make the comment. We still paying you. You still hitting the road. You still get to do what you love. You get to wrestle. We putting you on. We ain't putting you on the shelf. But you just not the man. You got an ego, nigga.
What does it take to be the man? Man,
you got an ego, and you telling me that I gotta come consult you because you're not gonna be up front and you ain't gonna be the line leader.
Listen, I did what you asked me though. Like, I did your Rey Mysterio angle. I did your United States angle. I did your Logan Paul match. I did Edge when he came back. I did everything for you. I did everything. I did what you asked me to do, and then you cut my promo the next night.
But that's
and
what,
you, like, yeah, that's. I mean, maybe you don't want to be the man, but don't diss me.
But you just said it. You just said I pay you your money. Do what the fuck I tell you. You said that for AEW. You say I'm the man. You just made.
I'm saying, but here's the context to that. If Seth Rollins was stomping his feet backstage about somebody coming in that he didn't want, yeah, you shut up. You do what I told you to do. But if he's saying like, "Yo, I did the job you told me to do," and then the next night, you guys are just throwing me off to the you cutting my promo or whatever it is.
Well, my thing is, if you just said it. It's nothing for him to do. Like, you just said it.
Maybe until the draft.
Maybe they looked at the script. They looked at the promo. Like, man, just sing your music. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, like, because we care about Seth. Seth cares about Seth. The people, obviously, he's an asset. We talk about assets, right? Mm-hmm. They care about Seth. They don't want to waste him. So again, what does Seth do right now? What do you do with him? And if it ain't nothing but go out there and get that motherfucking wear your outfit and give you 40. Listen, nigga, you got paid to come to town. You ain't work. You ain't take no bumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to wrestle a dark match, nigga, wrestle a dark match. But shit, for TV, we ain't got nothing for you.
I think Seth's got to just chill a little bit. Things obviously they're going to use him like towards SummerSlam and all that. But right now, yeah, I'll be a little upset about certain way things have been telegraphed. Maybe after the draft, we'll see what they're using him. But right now they're building Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest and Dominic. They're building Brock and Cody. They're building the Trish Stratus and and so Becky Lynch, your wife, so they need time too. So like and Bianca, she hasn't done shit. She's been there. She had had a promo with Rhea, and then she wasn't even there the next night either. So right now, and they said that was due to maybe flight difficulties on Raw
Yeah,
this past week.
everybody had
So
travel issues
yes,
on Monday. So
so
again,
yeah, you
that
can
might
be
have something to do. I mean, like,
with
that's
the
not
what they had
that's
planned.
you know what I mean. So I mean, but that don't got nothing to do with the promo being cut again. But
Yeah,
like him not being on the show the next week, it's just like, listen, man, like we running through it right now. But
yeah,
again, like, yes, Seth can feel some type of way. You can say shut up and dribble, with that. But with Drew, listen, man, you don't like the money we offer you, go find it somewhere else. Like, all of this is encapsulated when we talk about business and logic and where niggas is favorite, where niggas is, I mean,
there's a hierarchy backstage, of course, and
exactly.
it shifts over time. Like we do our power rankings, but I think that like they have in their mind their own power ranking of who's the man right now, who's second, who's third, and how are we going to get to from point A to point B. They know where they're going by SummerSlam already, or they have an idea. Depending on what happens, card always subject to change. But first, we got to get to Puerto Rico, and right now, Seth, you're not a key factor in Puerto Rico right now. Neither is shit. Neither is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns ain't doing. He hasn't been on TV since. So right now they're building different stories. Shout out to Horror Guru. You said these long title runs besides Roman have run their course. My point, in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
listen, I mean, except for my guy Gunther,
Yo,
I can't really deny that. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, man. Appreciate you stopping in. I think that's my guy. My homie that he's on the pod. He came on the pod with us one day. Um, but yeah, listen, I think that this Roman thing, I would have had Cody taking the championship at WrestleMania, but it's not bad decision. I'm gonna be honest, it's not bad. Like Roman's long run right now, if he hits 1,000 days, that's a marquee number. It's definitely history making, and I do believe that Cody hasn't really faced the adversity. There's an adversity story with Cody. Yeah, Dustin, thank you. Sorry, I just lost everybody's name right now. I'm not good with names, bro. I'm not good with names at all. I forget everybody's name. Shit.
yeah,
But shout out to
shout out to
Dustin, man.
Dustin knowing he knew, he was like, my nigga forgot my name, but I'm gonna help
I
him
forget
out.
everybody's name. It's not. It's just, I forgot Chris' name. Shit. But I believe that when it comes to Cody, uh, I believe that this whole adversity with him going through Brock, he has to win. He has to get over Brock, and he has to fight and make it about him, not his daddy. He has to make it about, all right, this is where we find out who the American Nightmare really is, rather than the American Dream. And if he has to go through hell and fire to do that, whether it be through Brock, then he has to do that to get back to Roman and get that match, and then hopefully take the victory at SummerSlam or something like that. But yeah, I think Roman's run has been a long time. It's been long, and it's been I guess people don't like the consistency of him holding the title, but he is a heel, so I guess it doesn't really matter because you can be mad, but as long as you're entertained with the Bloodline storyline, hey, you're entertained.
Well, I would say this though, in regards to, like you saying, Bianca not being on the show, she cut the promo Rhea, she's not there. Realistically, you look at it, there has to be a challenger worth, again, for Bianca to be involved with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can pad her stats, but like, how many times we gonna allow her to just wrestle Carmella or Chelsea Green, or you know what I'm saying, Nikki Cross? Like, we do want to see her in something substantial. We
Well,
do want to see her with
next up.
something, you know what I'm saying? And again, with I would say the other title that has been, like you say, the Roman stretch. I do like the fact that he has bodies, right? Like he has stackable bodies. They have been somewhat meaningful, even though we know that hey, you're honestly like Cesaro. I didn't know that they had this vision for the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? So like, when they had the joint with Cesaro, I thought like, man, they really building this guy up. But then like Shinsuke's not there, right? You got Shin. Like there's people that he still can get involved with that we can still get excited about. But I do appreciate the fact that he has bodies that are meaningful. I do feel like that it gets a little stale when it's just a run and it's not defended and or it's the same feud over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
can say that those long title runs are kind of obsolete at this point.
Yeah, man. I think that I kind of like the long title runs. To be honest with you, Gunther, Roman, Bianca. It adds prestige to for me. It adds
It does.
prestige to rather than just it being hot potato or
It
a
does.
couple of
It
months.
does. It does.
It breaks the monotony of like, okay, yeah, it's been 4 months. We know who's gonna. It's time to get a new champion. Oh, it's been 3 months. Time to get a new champion. It breaks that up a little bit. You know that you can see that. Oh, Roman is effectively head and shoulders above everybody else right now. So I want to just talk about real quickly. You mentioned Bianca in the women's division. I want to talk about the women's division this week and kind of compare it to what we've seen with the Bloodline, and what would it take for the women's division to have a storyline as good as impactful as captivating as this bloodline storyline has been. I think what makes this storyline so good is that one, we have a dominant heel champion who's a really good wrestler, who's really good in the mic and good in maintaining his presence out there.
To,
Can
to,
that possibly happen for the women?
to cut you off, or because I've been doing that a lot this pod. Um, your suggestion of Charlotte having a legacy a couple years ago would have worked. I think if Charlotte would have got a legacy with possibly a heel Natalia or and a heel Tamina and ran it up as a heel dominant
Yeah.
faction, I think they all three are like insufficient in some places that they all need each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Tamina and Natalia could be great tag team. Honestly, you got to form a Snooker and a Heart
You got a
together
Snooker, a
and a
Heart.
Flair.
Yeah,
You know,
I think they would have. I think they would have, and not to do a four horsewoman because I think that would have been too close to what she was already connected with. But I
hmm
think that if she would have had a trio, if it would have been them three, a la Randy, DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes, I would have liked to see that heel faction run rampant. And they could have been holding the tag team titles and just winning with the heart attack and a fucking splash,
yeah, man.
just beating whoever came, and Charlotte could have been the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. Like
hmm
that would have been something. We would have got super tired of that. But but I
It
think
depends how you tell the story.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think that would have worked. If you
you
got
know,
a climbing Bianca and Charlotte fighting Bianca fighting against Legacy,
yeah.
your 2.0 uphill, and she gets a couple running mates, a couple of partners to help her along the way that got some meaning. They'll
hmm
come along the way, maybe upstart and like the Liv and Raquel or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Because then I can, I can see something like that happening. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm
And I
saying?
would have had, and if you're going on this plan, I would have had Bailey play the Sammy role where she's kind of in between, where she's kind of the baby face who's cool with the heels, but kind of trying to get down with them at the time. Like if you did this years ago, but if let's say you're doing it today though, let's say if you were going to do this today, and I brought this up to you in the chat, what about Rhea Ripley having a role as the leader of Judgment Day? And what I mean by role is being a dominant female faction leader, a woman who usurps the power and tells her henchmen what to do, kind of like the Griselda Blanco of Judgment Day. And she usurps the power of her organization and she sets the orders up. And she can still have a Bianca chasing, trying to, combat, and you have Dominic helping her win match after match. So you can still get, you know, anybody, Bailey, Bianca, Becky, chasing her as the kind of like overarching heel, dominant woman faction who controls the men, as top mommy in the faction, and they go by her orders. She orders Finn and Dominic, or Dominic and Priest to go get the tag title. She's like, I need that in Judgment Day, and if you don't, there's gonna be hell to pay, or some kind of shit like that, where she can, also pit people against each other within the group, by just using her, her words and how she presents herself as, a character.
Like
I think
you think she can be it, but my thing is, you think that she can be a natural manipulator with. I think her presence and her actions and her pseudo dominatrix personality or persona allows her to execute this potentially to the best. And honestly, I think this is my thing. If Damien is her solo, right? If Damien is her solo, Dom is her boy toy, and Finn is her, like, you know what I'm saying, like whatever, like, the in between the two, you know what I'm
Jay,
saying?
yeah,
The Jimmy, either Jimmy gets no love, bro. And it's Jay, Solo, and whatever's left for Jimmy. Jimmy's like, we got Mahi, you know what I'm saying?
Right now, I'm about to go on a plane, get some Mahi, I bet. So
Finn can be Finn can be the if she just put a mask on Finn, you know what I'm saying, and have Dom just be her little boy toy gangster and Priest as her fucking muscle. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that could work.
And she takes the mask off Finn, and Finn just that would be crazy. That's fire.
Yeah, I think her taking that kind of role as the leader and saying, listen, I'm the strategist, and trust me on this. I know how to get you the United States Championship, Finn. I know how to get you guys a tag team title, Dominic and Priest. You just listen to what I got to say. I'm the one who's holding the women's championship. If you guys follow my lead, you guys can be champions just like me. Over time, it becomes more and more domineering, more and more manipulative. I think that can captivate a wide audience. And the reason why I brought this up, because women have been saying, oh, we're not on TV. They always have something to say about their presence on the show. And now that Raw to WrestleMania, especially, they're like, we got one promo and that's it. Like, it felt like we're taking a step back. Even a couple of months ago, the woman on, I think it was the Raw, there was like a special Raw where they had to cancel the Bailey and Becky cage match and all that stuff. They do get cut a lot, but they wouldn't get cut if they were the top storyline, if they put the time into it. Even the build to WrestleMania, both of the women's championship matches, they weren't really put a lot of time into it.
That goes back to we talking about the decision makers. The decision makers aren't influenced. And when you don't have decision makers helping you make influenced decisions, then you have a blind spot, because why aren't women a part of your demographic? Now, don't get me wrong. The straight the what we call a straight man in this situation, as non fans of wrestling, they found Roman Reigns on social media. It's a wrap. I think we will have a new influx of fans coming in now that we have that scenery, and I think that plays a part with the mentality of what's presented as your women's champion. You know what I'm saying?
But does it need to be like a sex appeal kind of thing? You mean?
I'm not necessarily a sex appeal too much, but again, it has to be an appeal, right? So it has to be an appeal. And I will say that with that being said, they focus on the appeal part rather than the appeal part blends into the presentation part, but it took a while for they to dig into the creative bag, right? Honestly, let's not give them a lot of credit, nigga. I don't think this is like Vince turned around and was like, got a great story. This is Paul. This is Roman. This is a lot of people taking control of their character and their narrative and like, yo, if I am gonna be your top guy, if I am gonna be your asset, then I gotta have some control or some creative determination behind it. And
I don't think that it was like a choice from them, like I gotta have control. I think it was more organic. Like they sit down and they chop it up and they come up with ideas and they say,
well, hey, listen,
Sasha
don't get that respect.
And
Naomi don't get that respect. When you say can the women have it, the Sasha and Naomi were their tag champs, and it was like, nigga, can we get a tag team to stay together for 2 months so we can get to a pay-per-view, motherfucker? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you telling me you care and you don't fucking care? Bro, look at Bianca and Sasha. That feud leading up to WrestleMania, that was not special. That did not hit. It was only special because we made it, but we had to make it special. But they didn't make it special. We had to make it special. They didn't put no real fucking Austin Rock my way
this year too. You know, Rhea Charlotte this year, Asuka Bianca this year. It's the same thing. And I agree. Like they need to take a more, and that's what I want. You know, I want them to put a more concerted effort and give the girls some ball, give them some rope. You know, to create a little bit more on the fly. Like if you guys gave Rhea that rope to say, you know what, we're gonna go with Rhea as the leader. I'm sure not. It wouldn't go over well with, you know, Priest and Finn and all that stuff. But I think in the long run, it will be best for both of them. I think that her, you know, pulling them up to new heights with the group could work because I think that appeal that you talk about. I think Rhea has now become a certain type of appeal, you know, and even if we go with your first idea of Charlotte making the legacy, that is a creative idea that can really take the WWE by storm and be an angle that you can start to like, all right, how do we intertwine the entire women's roster into this angle? This is the base that everything surrounds in the women's division, and we'll see how it goes from there. Because when you have Damage Control, which I think people shit on Damage Control, I thought it did serve this purpose. I enjoyed the Becky Bayley feud. I enjoyed when they debuted. I enjoyed a lot of tag team matches they had. I enjoyed War Games. I enjoyed their WrestleMania match. So and it brought, you know, Trish and Lita back to fight them. I enjoyed the arc with Damage Control. However, when you have Damage Control and they are not necessarily the center of anything because they don't really have that importance put on them, it does lack from what you're doing with the Bloodline and the men and, you know, and Cody and all that stuff, because it does feel like it's like not as important, you know. But you know, maybe if they gave Bayley the title, maybe it could have been different. But I just wanted to touch on that and give the women some love this week, because I think that as we continue to move down the line in wrestling, we only time I felt like that was the women were like what I came to TV for was when Becky Lynch was doing the man gimmick, and that was like felt like that was the most important thing in wrestling, you know, and when it first started, essentially.
Well, I mean, again, it's you also got to understand the way we are and wrestling is and everything. The attention span is catching lightning in a bottle, essentially.
True.
Right? Like, you know, people didn't really give the Fiend. People didn't necessarily give the Fiend a chance. Niggas definitely didn't want Braun as champion. So you got to think about it. When Roman came back as champion, essentially, he was in a place of like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Where everybody was like, give the title again. Why the Universal title couldn't go to Blase? Why the Universal title couldn't go to Blase? Right. So again, we got this same dynamic of you have people there available that you can give the title to, that you can give a run to, that you can kind of help booster, and they call Roman back, right? For damn near 3 years, they've had to, on the fly, add interesting and intricate layers to this story.
True.
Which I think shows that they have the capacity to do it for the women. But it goes back to investment, ROI, and the level of asset that you are to the company, right? Sasha Banks, Roman Reigns, when you put them at the top of the company, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, when you put them at the top of the company, what is the, you know what I'm saying? Like we just named 4 women. 4 women. They had Bianca, Becky, Sasha, and damn, who else I just named? I'm sorry. But they
Rhea or Becky or somebody else? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that whole we talking about, and it's 3 years. That 3 years, the 2020 pandemic, back on the road. We talk Becky Lynch, Bailey, Bianca. They got that, and they got who's the one guy? Roman. So they like, we gotta mix, like, but again, we talk about the investment. Their investment is to make Roman matter. They've already did it with the women. They did it with little effort. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think they have quite the same way though. Roman matters now because they put in years of investment in this guy.
I understand.
Figured out why he works now.
Well, Becky,
and they allowed him to be himself.
This goes back to what I'm saying. Lightning in the bottle. They didn't have to put no work into Becky as an investment to get lightning in the bottle and for her to be the best in the world.
Yeah,
they didn't have to put any work or investment in Sasha. They just, like you say, gave her the ball and told her to run with it. And she had boundaries within, and then she wanted to run outside the boundaries. And it was like, hey, no, we run with it. It's just like, no, but I want to run outside the boundaries. And they're like, no, we run inside. So but again, they didn't really put no effort to make her that. Bianca, they didn't really.
I know what you mean. I think they're making them stars. Absolutely. Yeah. They're making them stars. Absolutely. But Roman was a star too. But taking that to the next level of, creatively, because you can be a star on TV no matter, you have plenty of stars. Roman can have a match with anybody and they're also a star, but doesn't mean that they're Roman. I believe that the woman, I think when Becky Lynch had that moment in that lightning in the ball of becoming the man, it felt like transcendent in a sense. This bloodline angle feels transcendent. It's breaking boundaries. Now, how can we take the next step with the woman and break boundaries as well? And that is time to put time into their storytelling. Like putting them in promos is cool and all, but those little details that you put into the tribal chief and the bloodline and we're the ones, all those little details you put into that, I need something like that for the woman, because those little details can give us that same feeling of like, all right, we're taking another leap with this woman's evolution thing. And they can now tell us the big, like, long-term storylines. Because I know they've done long-term storytelling with Bianca and Becky, kind of, but it's more like, hey, we're going to do this match. You're going to lose it quickly, and then you're going to run it back all the way through.
Well, we just talked about this at the beginning of the show, right? With Marvel, right? Marvel has tremendous success of character building and world building and adaptation, but they don't put their time and effort into other things, and they say, hey, we put our name on this, why didn't this succeed, right? We just said that about You're Scared with Galactus. Eternals really didn't do much. Black Widow had to recoup what it had to do, like all of those things. And they're like, hey, but we made everything else that you love. You know what I'm saying? WWE operates in that same thing. As far as
taking to the next level, and for on both parts.
I know.
I think you would agree. Well,
you're saying it's time to take it to the next level. I'm not making an excuse of saying that they don't have the capacity to focus on more than one thing. But my thing is like, I think, yeah, it's really hard to focus on more than one thing. Me and you talk about it on our little low scale, right? On very low scale, what we're talking about, like, yo,
But we
how
we
do
don't
we,
have a
how do,
team, bro. If we had a
how,
team, if we have a team of like 300 people on our staff,
I,
we can focus on more than one thing. And I think that no, but here's and I want to give you some credit because you're right. It's hard to focus on a lot when you're especially when you do something new for the first time. I think the Bloodline storyline. I don't think they've tried it this way of storytelling in a long time, and I think they're trying something new and it's working. Now, if you can now take what you've done here and replicate it, or to some degree, take some of the elements of what built that magic and put it in the women's division, and then put it in, and it's already working for the tag division now. Like like you can do it for other places. You know, Gunther is looking hella strong. He doesn't even need super intricate storytelling for it to be because he and that's not what we talk about. He doesn't need that, but the women's division, especially the tag division, already has it. The women's division needs that attention of like, all right, now we can take the leap with them that we do with Roman, that we do with the tag division.
but if you pay attention, we've been doing this thing for 5 years, bro. Everything that we've asked for, they've done it in a check box list way, not all at the same
Not
time.
saying, yeah, exactly. No,
There's
and I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to knock them for it.
right.
But
But
I do believe we're gonna get it.
I'm just
I
bringing
just want to bring that conversation up because I think it's
I'm
interesting.
bringing the nuance to the fans
Yeah.
that may not be under preview. They, they wanted the accounts back with us in 2018. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back then we all like, listen, representation, black champion, tag division,
Better
mid card
storytelling.
titles,
Yeah.
making your business decisions more in sync with the logic of the show and the presentation of it. Like everything that women's representation, black women representate, like they've been kind of, now we're like, hey, we need some intricate women storytelling. Now listen, we lost Sasha, we lost Naomi. Why? Because you didn't give us the book. Okay, Charlotte came in and did the thing. Why wasn't that special? Y'all didn't really give her a chance to make it special with it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe now I think this will force them into it. But also, we talked about it. The regime change, bro. The regime change. Look at what just happened with the heel turn. We saw that shit from a mile away. I mean, we saw that shit from the jump, nigga. But at the same time, the little intricate, like you say, faculties that happen throughout the week, the consistency, the continuity, also the we talk about world building, right? Triple H is building a new world within a world that already exists.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like you're used to this, and over time, I'm going to slowly do things, and it's going to unwarp what you think of WWE.
Yeah.
And it's been working.
It has. You know, Rich showed us that video of people watching WrestleMania going crazy for the finish. I enjoyed watching that a lot because that's how it felt back in the day watching wrestling. The fact that people can get that excitement again and like be in a room with a bunch of their friends and family and go crazy over the finish, like even though it's not what they want, that's the type of energy I want around wrestling. We're getting that slowly but surely. But you hit on something a second ago that I want to touch on, and it's the heel turn. You said we saw the heel turn a mile away. First of all, which heel turn were you referring to? Because there was two recently that we saw a mile away. You got Trish Stratus and you got Brock Lesnar.
Well, I didn't necessarily see the Brock Lesnar heel turn happening, but we knew that when Brock came out Monday, we were like, it ain't gonna be good for everybody.
I knew immediately it was gonna be Cody. Going turning on Cody because it didn't make much sense otherwise. It didn't make sense that, you know. It doesn't make sense even with the Cody turn. We'll figure out that.
I would say they're trying to stretch it, and I will not to cut you off, even though I am. I'm listening on that. You know what I'm saying? They're just blowing past that train. Yeah. I would just say, but with the Cody thing, no, it doesn't make sense to us. They're trying to, and I'll racket this back to you. Brock can't challenge Roman for the title, so if Brock did help Cody win the title, then he would then turn on Cody. I was thinking that it would happen like that, but I did not know that was going to happen like
Okay.
30 minutes later. I didn't. I thought
Yeah.
at least we had 30 days, nigga, but no, 30 minutes of that shit. But go
No,
out.
I have a feeling, man, in my gut, like your Brock's about to turn tonight, and that's what happened. But I want to talk real quick about the art of the heel turn, and I do believe there is an art form to it. I think that this is a trope in wrestling, and it's become a trope that sometimes you can see it a mile away. Me, I saw the Brock turn, you know, from jump, and I put it in the group chat. There's evidence that I called it before it happened. The Trish turn, people have been calling that since prior to WrestleMania. You know, I'm not sure if
When
it's
she
because of
wasn't involved in the tag team title joint that night and something happened. And again, Trish, when we talk about reports and we were saying Trish was there, she didn't come out. That's how like all that's going to play into the story. But shout out to Trish. So
yeah,
feeding the dirt, she's feeding us, and also some of it being true, some of it, you know what I mean. So yeah,
we'll see where it goes. You know, because I'm down to see Trish more often. I'm down to see Trish on my screen constantly. I think that she's a legend who can still do it. You know, and I'm down to see her involvement. Yes, yes, satisfaction indeed. You know, but when it comes down to the heel turn, though, um, I don't like them being so telegraphed. I don't like the fact that like, at least for me, I kind of knew something was going to happen for both. Now it's a way to move the story along. It's a way to change the alignment of like these two characters. How do we get to this match between Becky and Trish? You know, as I'm not sure when they got it planned for. Some people are saying SummerSlam. Some people are saying it's going to be in Saudi. I don't know, but I do believe that you got to get to that match some way somehow. The fact of the matter that is that Lita got a bump backstage. She was attacked. She wasn't able to finish the match. Trish takes her place. She gets rolled up on Raw. New women's tag team champions Raquel and Liv Morgan. Congratulations to them. But it was a fluke victory in a sense because Trish then turns on Becky Lynch. And although I'm excited for the match itself, I think that the wrestling industry as a whole needs to ease up on when and how you turn heel. I think um, the motivations behind heel turns have been very poor, and we can just say it's like on a dime. People can just turn just cause. Now, Trish, we'll see the story play out. Brock didn't make much sense to me. It didn't make much sense, but we'll see that story play out too. I think what they do though is in retrospect they explain it, but we like listen, we needed somebody to change heel or turn face, and then we'll explain it later on. How do you think, or at least I'll tell you how I think heel turn should be. Heel turn should be always based in some kind of motive, and the motive should be surrounded around being more notoriety, more going for a championship, whatever it may be. And sometimes it just seems to come out the clear fucking blue for no reason. And I think the amount of heel turns happening in a short time period diminishes the effect of one heel turn. So you tell me what you think on that, because I just want to touch on that a little bit because I think that there is an art style to doing it where it feels better than it feels more impactful than just like, oh, here it comes. She turned her back. Oh, she got an elbow to the back of the
My
head.
thing is like, listen, realistically, like, regardless if it has motive or not, if it's executed the right way, it doesn't matter. An unexpected heel turn, like, listen, like look, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, executed fantastic, called miles away. You know what I'm
I didn't
saying?
call that one. I wasn't. I mean, maybe that's me. I didn't see Tommaso turning that night.
Bro, we knew we knew the turn was coming. Like they wrestled they wrestled the Cruiserweight Classic. They beat the fuck out of each other. Like they kept losing the tag team title. Like, what do you mean? Like if you told me you can, if your Nostradamus ass can call Brock Lesnar, like I knew it that night. If you woke up with the proclamation that Roman was gonna beat Cody tonight at WrestleMania, then nigga, you gotta see Tommaso was gonna turn on Johnny bitch ass at some point in time. You know,
Johnny. Listen, man. You know, so you think that even if you know it's going to come, it's a matter of what they execute. That's what you think.
Yes, and I
All right.
think honestly, like to just to not the whole tight on that, but I would say this, but just to hammer home a little bit for me is just that regardless of the fact if it's expected or unexpected, if it's done poorly, like Trish one was not done right, right? Lil was coming, would have been effective. It waited too long. The
Mhm.
champions had already celebrated. They kept the camera on her. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it should have been pick up, hug, went away, bam, real contact, then stump out frustration. You didn't pick me. Whatever the audio was, we didn't hear it. Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it. I hear you. I feel you. Like
I
it is
think,
art to it, but again, I just don't think that this one was executed well. So
I don't think it was too well either.
that
However, I
saw
think,
it was it.
I mean, Becky had a great sell of the chick kick. It was a great sell, like the way she freaking sold that.
Yeah, but
But
the back to the blow, the blow to the back of the head,
exactly,
stumble and
I think
everything.
that once I think that once Becky got into the ring after they lost, she should have kicked her right away. I mean, you lost the match for them already. No way to play sorry and all that shit. You don't need to do all that. Just kick right in the face right away. Like that's what I would have preferred, and I think that would have been more shocking. Becky comes in, about to hug her, like it's okay, and she kicks her and gets in her face, like, listen, yeah,
That works well. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like either
Rather than all this, hey,
you go
sorry,
through
it's
all of
okay.
you don't need, and then you can try to have Liv go to save or whatever, and Raquel
Yeah.
go back and like we won, nigga, we out. And you go back to Trish, pummeling her, like whatever the case may be, and
Yeah.
but I do feel you. Like there is a certain, and even with Brock doing it with Cody, like that was done well. It was executed well. It just was like you said, just even though it was quote unquote unexpected, it just didn't have no logic to it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Even if
gonna hold off on whether it's done well until I see what Brock has to say. I
okay,
think Cody had a great promo on Raw.
right,
Talking about he constantly is killing it on the promos, man. But we'll see what Brock says on his motivation. But like I said, if Cody won at WrestleMania and then Brock did this the next night and beat the shit out of him, we get exactly why his purpose is immediately.
but we again, if Brock comes out with Cody holding the championships, it's not a heel turn. Like what is Brock coming out to congratulate Cody for? They ain't boys. He ain't a Dusty's kid. When we hear
It's a heel turn when he goes overboard.
Cody need to start unbuckling that triple breast, nigga. You know what time it is?
It's a heel turn when he goes overboard with the beatdown, and that's what it is. At some point, it's like, yo, it's enough. We get your point. You want a championship match, but when you go overboard, you're F5 him through a table, stairs, all this shit, chair. They get the guys to come out. You're throwing the guys around. That's when it becomes a heel turn.
Yeah, because Brock ain't really do the I'm a monster, rip a motherfucker. Like he ain't like go into Hawk beast mode and just snap type shit. Like I hate your fucking tattoo is ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like it triggers me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel you on that.
But yeah, I think that when you see something playing out, I want those heel turns to hit a little bit more. The JC Jane and Gigi Dolan heel turn that they did in NXT. I think it was a playoff with Shawn Michaels in the barbershop. It was vicious. Don't get me wrong, like it was vicious, but it just took too long to get to it. I felt like it was like super.
Well, I mean, I feel like that with the swerving Keith Lee joint. Let's just,
shit.
Let's just.
You got it right, yo. Swerving Keith Lee. Let's talk.
I'm a transitioner.
Great transition. Booking Black, Swerve, Keith Lee. Man, these two guys who were doing great during the pandemic era in WWE, who I also think were hurt by that time, who I think could have been in WWE still if it not for the pandemic.
Yeah.
But right now, Swerve in AEW, man, he's a heel, got mogul affiliates, but he's losing matches, losing to Darby Allin, and in a great match, by the way. Like Swerve is still that dude when it comes in the ring, in a great match. And then at the end of the night, after Keith Lee loses to Chris Jericho, competes with Chris Jericho in the match, He loses due to interference by Swerve Strickland. Shane Strickland, excuse me. It was same Shane Swerve Strickland. All those are his name. But essentially, he hits him with some kind of object and he loses the match. So are we now with the that heel turn that happened with them? It was kind of like it took too long, because it took weeks. When we all knew when they started the tag team that it was a heel baby face tag team from jump. Swerve is a heel. Keith Lee's baby face. It's just the manner in which they told the story.
Now I don't give a fuck about this, bro. As you're talking, I'm like, man, it's unappealing.
Isn't that so sad? Because Booking Black 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I've been saying Keith Lee and Swerve got to go for that North American Championship. That's what I want to see. This is the match I want to see, and I kind of still do want to see it. They're both still great competitors, but they have squandered the steam behind these guys because they haven't been on television, bro. Like, at least am I mistaken? I haven't seen them on TV until this week.
Yo, and even if they on TV, they not few, and he stumped a brick into this nigga chest. Keith Lee should be murdering that nigga why is he talking about Chris Jericho? He should be beating down Tony Khan's door and be like, yo, it's either me or Swerve. Like, either he gotta go, or I gotta, like, we gotta have a brick on the pole match or something, nigga. Like, bro, nigga, we gotta throw it down, nigga. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about respect with Chris Jericho? And Chris Jericho, I told y'all, excuse me, on the Booking Black, let's get on these white boys one time. Chris Jericho, I told you to stay away from Adam Cole. And guess what Adam Cole do? Run to this nigga.
I told you, I called it.
Oh,
I called it.
Bro, this nigga put on this Whitney Houston. I wanna run to you.
Yo, man. So Keith Lee lose the match.
Oh,
Adam Cole, helps him out, gather himself after the match and help him backstage. And then he looks back the same way Chris Jericho did week prior. And I told you immediately, once I saw Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole booked, I'm like, yo, they're going with Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. Watch it. And here we are, baby. They're going with the babies, So, hey, I'm waiting for you to kill these niggas. So I'm down for the content that we're gonna get with this angle. So at the end of the day, I ain't mad at it.
I'm gonna give it to him during the Booking Black segment because I would take it away from my niggas.
All right.
But I'm gonna tell you this.
You brought it up.
Turd.
Okay.
I am annoyed. Out of all the things that Adam Cole has the ability to do since he came back, all the steam that he has, like, why doesn't he go after Orange Cassidy? I would love to see Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy test himself against that. I would love to.
Orange Cassidy,
Orange Cassidy is right now wrestler of the week competitor category list maker. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being dead ass. Like, listen, Adam Cole and Chris Jericho is as cold as a bodega turkey sandwich, nigga. The deli meat, not the sandwich. It's just it's as cold as the meat in the fridge that you see in the glass with the ice around it, because clearly you got to keep it cold. Jericho and Adam Cole is as cold as bodega sandwich deli meat.
All right, so back to Booking Black. What's colder, Adam Cole and Chris Jericho or Keith Lee?
Oh, damn, I gotta put that on the poll one time. Fuck. What is,
don't do that to our guys, man.
What is a more cold
Don't do
feud?
that. Don't do that to these guys.
I'm doing it right now. What is a more cold feud? Let me type this out. Go ahead, filler buster. I can't.
Listen. Booking Black Swerve. Listen, I ain't gonna say he's cold because we heat this thing back up, man. Put it back on the stove. Listen, Keith Lee, Swerve. At the end of the day, I want to see Keith Lee get his comeuppance, but at the same time, I want to see Mogul Affiliates continue to grow. So in the long run,
it's already growing. They already merged.
But you know what I mean. Not just because
I
don't care about the merge. I need to see them get have influence, like win matches, and go after other people. Like I want to see Ricky Starks and Swerve. So if we get to, I want Swerve to go over. I want Swerve to go over Keith Lee, even though we've seen that Keith Lee got the brick stomped on him. I need Swerve's Mogul Affiliates to take a stance as an official dominant threat in AEW. And that's why he needs to get this victory and move forward. Ricky Starks can be in a feud with Swerve, and from there we have the TNT Championship right now between Wardlow and and Will Hobbs feud going on. By the time that's complete, you either got Ricky Starks going after it, or you got Swerve going after that.
Nigga, you want to talk about cold? That motherfucking nigga Will Hobbs.
What did I tell you?
Oh my god!
What did I tell you about putting him in a TMZ? Bruh, like, what was that? Get him the fuck away from QT Marshall. I told you, and you want to come back with me and debate that shit. No, let's not debate that. Get him the fuck away from QT Marshall. He don't need him.
My God. Every time, it's like QT Marshall around the niggas because Will Hobbs bring him around. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the fact that QT around because he got married. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's invite QT. When we chilling and Will Hobbs pull up, we like, oh, they got that nigga QT around. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
QT he's the guy who's Mr. Freeze, man. Like, he's gonna cool down any program he's in. It doesn't matter if you're Anthony Ogogo, Will Hobbs, he's gonna fucking cool it off. And whatever happened to that guy, Anthony Ogogo?
Cody Rhodes
disappeared. Yeah, Cody Rhodes, all that shit. Like, he's the guy who started the Cody Rhodes heel turn. That is all of a sudden now a heel turn because he says it was bullshit. But anyways, Will Hobbs, Wardlow, wherever it goes, I want to see Swerve defeat Keith Lee, have a feud with Ricky Starks, and whoever wins that goes after the TNT Championship, because we got to get this guy some gold and Mogul Affiliates. So if by the time Wardlow gets that title back, we get Wardlow versus Swerve, or if we get Ricky Starks versus Will Hobbs, either one of those I'm going to be satisfied with. Well, so that's how I would go with
Starks it. Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs is something that we essentially should have been something that has been continuous and long-standing throughout.
For a minute, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got away from that because they wanted to separate them. Why? That didn't make no sense. But for somehow you want to keep Keith Lee and Swerve. When we had accusations was like that, they was rolling.
Yeah,
they was rolling, bro.
Big fat funky. Big fat funky. Listen, man, Mogul Affiliates was lit. Then they're not on TV for 2 months. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, I think he got punished by Rick Ross coming out there and saying,
"You just big motherfucker." All right, we got to get Rick Ross off the TV, guy. God damn it. No more Rick Ross.
We got to get Rick Ross and you, nigga. It's just all the blackness off.
Oh, my God.
Where's Ricky? Let's put his shade on there. Dumbasses asking this Ricky Starks black. Yes, you idiot.
Yeah. So, when it comes down to it, like, with AEW, like, the problem is like that their factions don't really matter. You got Jay White with this Bullet Club Gold. I'm not excited about it because your factions don't really hold no fucking weight unless you build them up. It seems like the only faction that holds some weight is the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite, and neither one of them hold any fucking titles, if I'm not mistaken.
House of Black is one.
House of Black is that. See, this is the thing. Let me put this weight down. House of Black needs to have those promos. You said that you don't need those. Oh, that's spooky shit. Oh, listen, no. The House of Black needs promos. They need to have a presence on the roster. They should be the ones beating everybody's ass. they should be the ones kicking ass. Like honestly, and I know we want to see BCC in the elite, but I'm telling you, bro, they're the only time they've actually been relevant is when they had an angle where they turned Julia Hart, and that's it. And they just been this dark, lights go
Well,
dark.
they
They have
they
great
they,
matches,
they
and then
were
that's
just
it.
they were literally just intriguing when they had the feud with the elite. Literally just intriguing there.
So they have to have so for anybody to be intriguing, they have to be in a feud with the elite, or
No, that's not
that's
what I'm
how it
saying.
feels.
That's not what I'm saying. But you said, damn, when was the last time? I'm like, when they just picked up the titles. Now I feel you. Should they be involved with somebody else to make them matter? You just said, what other factions matter? It's either the elite, the House of Black, Blackpool Combat Club. Now, Blackpool Combat Club is starting some shit with some niggas that they can start some shit with because they don't want to start no shit with some niggas they can't really fuck with.
So my thing is, you want to do this whole gang warfare shit, and blood and guts maybe is gonna go down, but the House of Black, your trios championship is not gonna be in the match. Like, why? Why can't we figure something out? A play for them.
Why would they be in the? Hold on. Why would they be in the blood? And this goes.
It literally could be a trios blood and guts match for the championship. That would have been awesome.
Okay, but this goes back to this experimental fantasy booking that we be doing when they can like, hey, we can do a blood and guts feud and intensify that, and we can also heat up possibly fucking I don't know another trio, but that's my thing. You started a trio title, don't have no fucking trios, nigga. You only got 3 teams. The fuck is you mad at me for? Nigga, they don't got no other fucking teams. You fucking want to yell at me and shit. Talking about it's interesting. No
so you
shit.
put these teams. So like three is enough. You put those 3 teams in a match against each other in the pay-per-view.
No,
and have them compete for the championship
with the Jericho Association Society, and then ruin that fucking match that could have happened in Winnipeg to add some more validity to the Blackpool Combat Club feud. Because if that was the triple threat match with the BCC, and the BCC was a part of the elite losing the title, then we can have a blood feud, and you can say, "Hey, you never beat me for the title." So this is where we're talking about where it comes to layers, right?
And it comes full circle after that. Yeah, exactly. That would make sense.
But at the same time, if you got the Blackpool, if you got the House of Black saying that, yo, I want Buddy Murphy to put on a match with fucking Orange Cassidy, I think that hurts the fucking faction more than anything.
You're hitting on so many things right now because it's triggering to me because Buddy Matthews, great performer, one of my underrated performers of the week. Dude, great performer. We all know what Aleister Black can do. We all know what Brody King can do. Yo, Andrade's another one who hurt from the pandemic era, and fucking Aleister Black. I call him Aleister, but Malachi Black hurt from the pandemic era in WWE, left, came to AEW, and they have not been relevant. And they haven't been they should be more relevant now than they were then. They're not. They're not for a reason. And I think you can put a title on a guy, it doesn't make them relevant. Just because you put the trio championship on Pac and them doesn't make them more. Pac and the Lucha Dragons, they have to then make it matter. And they did the best they could with it because they actually had the turn, they had using the ring bell, all types of stuff. They were having match after match. The House of Black right now seems to be in the background while y'all have your other favorite teams going out there and doing an actual angle. And I think the titles don't matter to them as much. They have matches, but put an angle around the championship. And that brings me to the World Heavyweight Championship. It actually has an angle around it. Thank God. Even the Women's Championship needs an angle. They've been doing the same shit for 2 months. God damn it. I can't stand that Women's Championship division right now. It's pissing me off every fucking week. Same thing every fucking week. That's all I'm going to say about it. But the
ain't Jamie's fault. I love you, Jamie.
It ain't Jamie's fault.
And you look good with the title, and you're having banger matches. They just not putting effort into building an angle and a storyline around you that matters. But you're doing good as champion.
Yeah,
cheating.
It ain't Jamie's fault. Okay, I'm not hating on Miss Hater. Okay, but I will say this about AEW as a whole. gotta do better with making your stars. Now, I like the pivot in the World Heavyweight Championship division to focus on the pillars. You got MJF, your World Heavyweight Champion. You got Jungle Boy. You got Darby Allin. You got Sammy Guevara. Four men who are essentially homegrown AEW talent in my eyes that you took from the indies and brought there and said, you guys are now on national TV and we're going to build you to a national audience. And I think you guys have been doing a great job of that over the past couple of years. But when you bring out Sting to interrupt a Darby Allin promo, it just goes back to what MJF was saying. He mentioned the AEW daddy daycare situation going down where you got Jungle Boy with Christian Cage, Sammy Guevara with Chris Jericho, Darby Allin was Sting, and he didn't need that. And that was a great line. I think this is the perfect time for you to fucking get these guys away from daddy daycare. This is the perfect time for them to stand on their own.
MJF did have a date. Shout out to Sting. Because we brought it up because nobody, the internet did, but I guess, part of the storyline is going to be excluded, but it's not.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Listen, AEW Daddy Daycare, MJF, you want to bring up Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes is not in the company. He hasn't been in the company for a whole year plus. So my point is this, for the past, we finally got Jungle Boy away from Christian Cage. You got Sammy Guevara, who doesn't fucking need Chris Jericho. I told you that when he was in the fucking Inner Circle. Then he leaves the Inner Circle. And then he joins the next Chris Jericho group when he doesn't fucking need that. I think that takes away the shine from these pillars. Let them stand on their own feet. And when you have in the ring MJF and Darby Allin having back-and-back promo, and then you have Sting come out just to save Darby Allin on the mic again, it just brings to light exactly what he's saying about, these guys need the crutch of a daddy daycare.
Brings me back to why I say this storyline isn't intriguing, and those other three guys do not deserve to be in the ring with MJF. We can't get Jungle Boy away from fucking Luchasaurus. Are you telling nigga they killed dinosaurs 2,000 years ago? Why the fuck he ain't dead? You telling me Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus gotta go have again? You telling me that Sammy Guevara and I don't even know why, but again, Darby Allin just got took out by Swerve in the embassy. You say you don't care about that? Nigga, Darby Allin just got his ass whipped by Brian Cage, Swerve, and them boys. You know what I'm saying? So listen, and MJF, that motherfucker was singing and swinging and shit. What is going on? That ain't the champion that I motherfucking know. All four of these niggas is looking real funny in the light right now.
You're right. And that's why I have a problem with this angle, because it should work for me. I think that was a perfect pivot from going from Bryan Danielson, getting away from Kenny Omega and the Jon Moxleys in the title picture and the Hangman Pages. And then you're saying, boom, let's bring some new, fresh, guys into the main event, roster, the main event, title picture. And guys that kind of earned it throughout the time you guys been building AEW on. If you guys build towards a fatal four-way match between MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy, or Jack Perry, it should hit. It should slap at any pay-per-view, at any show at this point, in my opinion. They are all super talented, in my opinion. And the fact that you need to bring Sting out, who already said on air, Showtime is almost over. Well, Showtime should have been over about 3 years ago, man. Meaning that you should be behind the scenes on everything Darby does, especially right now. So this whole thing with bringing in these guys and then getting it muddled with now Darby's feuding with Swerve, but kind of not because he already beat him now. It doesn't make any sense for the angle. Every week you want to add one layer to with MJF coming out and doing a promo with one of the guys. That does not really grab us, yo. And I think you gotta do a lot better.
Trash over there, cuz. Your lasagna's trash. Stop adding sauce, nigga. Your sauce and your noodles is undercooked. Your sauce is nasty. You're using the wrong cheese. Your lasagna nasty over there, cuz.
but it could be so much better, and that's what I have a problem with AEW. It's like so close, but so far on so many things, and I think that they need to just tighten it up, man. Like I don't know why people pop for Sting. I mean, granted, he's a legend. I'm not taking it from him, but if I'm Darby, I would be upset. If I'm Sammy Guevara, I'm a, go ahead.
hold on. Out of the heel turn. When MJF tell him he don't have what it takes, Darby has to physically move Sting out the way. I see Darby really tapping into that teenage person that wanted that just gotta do bad shit, right?
He just said he's not going to sell his soul. He's not going to backstab to get where he's trying to go. And I think that's a great thing to say in a promo.
But again, that's not turning on Sting, but like again, showing that aggression, like you say, Sting needs to be in the back. And like, yeah, Darby needs to be the one who fucking gets in his face, just like when Sting got in his face and told him like win that TNT title, stop being the pussy. You know what I'm saying? Darby need to tell Sting like, yo, get your old ass back, yo. This is my fight. Like whatever the fuck their relationship need to be, but it do need to be the like, but do it my way.
Next time Sting gets the microphone, Darby, exactly, and I fuck with that. After he's like, oh, he's not my daddy, he's just my best friend. Dude, I don't need to hear all that bullshit, man. You're going after the World Heavyweight Championship right now. You, not Sting. This is not. What the fuck you trying to say? Like, listen, like it's not AEW Daddy Daycare, man. And the fact that Sting has to come out in the middle of your promo with the world champion should piss you the fuck off. It should piss you the fuck off. And at this point, you guys keep going the way you want to go. Figure out the way to get to the end game, and I'll be here to watch it. But this should be a lot better than it is. That's all I'm gonna leave it at.
I mean, you about 2 weeks behind, brother. When I saw them niggas come out there with MJF, I was like, oh, we need to hit the skip button on this.
No, you're just a harsh critic, man, of that. You've seen plenty of Darby Allin matches where he has a thing about him where he can be a main event star. You've seen Jungle Boy have great matches. You've seen Sammy Guevara do great things.
Yeah, but those last two names, though, let's just be completely honest. When that whole 4 pillars thing came up, go back. What did I say? I say your shit gonna crumble. Your pillars hold some shit up. Like, yeah, niggas can like them, bro, but I'm talking about selling fucking tickets, bro. I'm talking about media press runs. I'm talking about like somebody that can really hold up your fucking company. You telling me a nigga who don't know how to take Jungle Boy out his name yet is gonna be the fucking run? Like, you telling me a nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, like, Sammy Guevara, the Spanish god, the sex god, whatever the fuck he is, like, yo, you gotta get your shit together, nigga. Like, you again, Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy ain't on MJF level. Now, Darby got that appeal. Darby got niggas painting themselves for Halloween. Darby can get the kids. Darby can get the fucking middle-aged guy. Like, Darby can do that. He got the grunge. He got the emo. He can do it. And I feel you on that. Darby is a star. Darby has the potential. And I feel you on that with the Sting situation. But this pillar shit was never going to work because the other two cannot hold their fucking weight.
You act like putting, let's say, Dolph Ziggler or somebody in a match in a main event spot is a bad thing. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler's not going to hold the company down. Neither is certain people that we put in main event title pictures. Is Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn going to be the guy who sells all the tickets? No, not necessarily. But sometimes they're the guy you put into an angle.
Some tickets sell. Listen, I'm not going to hold you. I'm not Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was however many people in fucking Montreal to see Sami Zayn.
Absolutely.
Right, but
is he gonna be the guy to run your company? And I think that when you talk about the guy, people, kids painting their faces and all stuff. You're looking at like a marquee guy who's going to take the championship. I'm not going. Sometimes you book a match that you know the guy's not going to win. Sammy wasn't going to win that match, but it was still a great match, still a great moment, you know.
But he's also a good character that you're investing in. That goes back to my point. Jungle Boy Jack Perry is a character that you care about, but we don't care about because they don't care enough about him. They have not put him in anything intriguing enough for him to leave Christian to go right to fucking MJF. We're like, nigga, where'd you come from? Who let the back door open? Like, how the fuck did he get here? Who Ubered pool with this nigga? Because again, he's not championship worthy. Sammy Guevara, you just said it, bro. You in a cock situation with Chris Jericho, nigga. You can't leave this nigga alone. Put his sweatpant pocket back out your hand. Like, nigga, what's going on? Bro, these niggas not ready. None of those two niggas is ready. Now we talk about Sammy. Yes, Sammy. I'm not saying.
All right, so you think that Darby versus MJF 1-on-1 would have been better?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If we talking about having like a pillars, Romeo,
because I'm looking at like sometimes you put the Chris Masters and Carlito in the Elimination Chamber match, and you see what they can do in a big spot. That's how I'm looking at it.
Waste two spots.
Okay.
You waste two spots.
Damn, you don't give them no love, no opportunity to see what they can do.
What I'm saying is that Sammy Guevara had that TNT championship 3 times.
And had great banger after banger.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, he had a. I'm not going to say banger after banger after banger. He had really good matches.
He had a stretch.
I was going to say he had some really good matches. He didn't have a lot of great feuds, and honestly, he's more memorable for dropping them than holding them. Jungle Boy, we remember him as being a really good tag team wrestler, really great tag team run. When the turn happened, talk about art of the turn. When the turn happened, we thought, where does this go? Because I did not think that when Adam Cole came in, and I was like, why the fuck is he wrestling Jungle Boy? That is exactly why I still feel that.
I think you don't see the appeal in these guys. Like Sammy Guevara is a great heel. He's going to be a great heel for years to come.
Yeah, but MJF is your heel right now.
Granted, you're right, and you're right. He's not on MJF's level. But he's just one of the guys in the match. But I was going to get to Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy has a great appeal to a younger audience as a babyface. Those two guys are not on the level of a Darby or MJF, in my opinion, but they are definitely deserving of an opportunity to show what they can do on the mic, to show what they can do when you are in the presence of the world champion and say, all right, here's the ball. At this point, you guys have been here for 3 years building the company, almost 4 years building this company. Give them the ball for one angle. But are they properly handling it the way? I don't think they're doing it properly, personally. And I think that you are not a big fan of Jungle Boy or the Sammy Guevaras. And I think, but there are people who are huge fans of these guys, especially Jungle Boy. You know, I think that has more appeal than maybe you might think.
Just because I'm not a huge fan of them, I can't understand their value or their assets.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Like, I'm just from a logical and a practical standpoint, them niggas not hot. Like, and no, it's not enough microwave that you can heat them niggas up to be with MJF. He just fucking is crowning achievement, nigga. Like, we talking about the pinnacle, right? That's what he said he was gonna be. He took out CM Punk, he took out Jon Moxley, he took out Bryan Danielson. He's the fucking pinnacle of the company. You telling me we gonna open the door and bring him Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara? Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay. I get you when you put them in the lane of those guys, but I think that, you know, sometimes you get a middle ground, like, you know, pay-per-view where it's like, all right, let's give them an opportunity. I'm not expecting them to lose. I'm not expecting either one of this.
How about one at a time? Let's see how they do one at a time, because is over convoluted with all three of them. Because listen, they got to fight with it. Listen, they trying to go at Max, but they got to cut everybody else off. And they brain can't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if we give them one at a time, let Sammy Guevara finish up with Danny Garcia, let him break away from JAS, Let him be single. Let him actually stand on his own and then come to the MJF. Let Christian finally and Jack
You're
Perry
not even the leader of your own group.
finish that. Like done. Like I don't give a fuck about that. Just finish up. Just finish up that shit. Just finish the fuck up. Finish up with Danny Garcia and break away. Have that turn. Do whatever the fuck you gotta do to get away from them. Jungle Boy, do whatever the fuck you gotta do to get a nigga. Have a meteorite to strike down on Luchasaurus. Like I don't know. Like I don't know.
Speaking of Luchasaurus, I like Luchasaurus.
Yeah,
he's like he's like the Kane of AEW, and I think he has a bright future. I've always said it that if you use him properly, he can be a huge star.
My thing is, this is my point.
But I don't know if they're gonna use him properly because that turn was shit.
This is my point. Hold on, this is my point. He has to come out strong for what you say to be true. So if he has to come out strong, then Jack Perry has to suffer. So my thing is, Jack Perry will get his shot at a title only for it to be ruined by Luchasaurus because he cannot get rid of that problem. Therefore, he's not ready to be on that stage with MJF. So that is all of the nuance that I'm just bringing to where I'm just like, yes, it's not that I'm not fond of him. It's just like, yo, you can't get rid of the two niggas who's eventually going to stop you from winning the title anyway. Like you listen, we gonna see a dope ass match. He gonna do the springboard flippity flip. He gonna hit a nigga with I'm just calling it. He gonna do it, and all of a sudden, a nigga gonna grab him, drag him out the ring, and ruin his title. And now he got another 3-month feud with the nigga, and he can just kill a nigga right now.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. I'm down for the match, though. I'll say that. The angle ain't hitting, though. The angle ain't hitting. It ain't hitting at all.
All right, let's wrap up the show with our top fives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
man. So I already know that you say that you got you gave a little spoiler of your underground, so go ahead and get into it. We gotta find a little music bed over time and stuff like. Yeah, you said that somebody was on your underground.
Okay, yeah, that's right. All right, so my underground performers of the week. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of NXT guys on here. They are actually getting my attention. Kiana James and Fallon Henley. These girls, tag team, I don't like them necessarily together, I'll be honest with you. But separately, they are really getting a lot better in the ring.
Shout out to the Black Queen, Kiana James.
Yeah, you're doing your thing. I don't like the angle with the Britt Jensen in them. I think they need to separate from that tag team as well.
No, I think they break them up. I like it. She gonna manipulate that nigga and she do anything for some pussy. Cause
okay, yeah. He's freaking whipped, dog.
His nose is
wide open, dog. Yeah, he is whipped. But yeah, shout out to Kiana James, Fallon Henley, y'all doing your thing. Number 4, Eddie Thorpe. Never seen the guy before. Never seen him wrestle, but he stuck out. The dude, physical. He had something there, man. So I'm curious to see where he goes. In NXT stood out to me this week. Number 3, Sol Ruka. She had a great match with Tiffany Stratton in the main. I think was it the main event? But yeah, she's definitely supreme athlete. I see her if she can stick around, really, be a huge babyface down the line. We'll see where she goes from there. Buddy Matthews, number 2. Dude, like I said before, great competitor. Every time he's in the ring, he's a great match no matter what he does. So shout out to him. I hope that him and the House of Black get more showcasing on AEW because we got to see them actually be thought of as a presence, as a group, as a dominant group. But right now it seems like they're giving too much attention to the Elite and BCC. But anyways, Buddy Matthews, number 2. And number 1 is Tiffany Stratton. The dude, she's a star. I mean, the girl's a star. She won the match with Sol Ruka and hit that triple moonsault. Once again, looks beautiful. That finisher is incredible. Unfortunately, she will be NXT Women's champion soon. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a pretty good list too.
I do want to talk about Cora Jade real quick, even though she's not on my list. Cora Jade has something, but Cora Jade has no confidence. and she did the whole skater girl thing. It didn't really work because she wasn't really being authentic. Now she's doing the mean girl thing. It's not quite working either for me. I think that the confidence is not quite there yet. When the crowd starts booing or something, she gets knocked off a little bit. She tries to rush through her promo, and she needs to get that confidence where she can absorb that heat and give it right back. She can't. She can't like. Somebody's trying to get through the segment rather than embracing the segment and owning the moment. So Cora Jade, I see something special with you. I think you have a look. I think you have a way about you in the ring. I think you have a presence that you're working on. You're working with something there, but you need some work going forward. So yeah, those are my underrated and the honorable mention. Cora Jade. What about you?
Well, just for the Cora J point, and I just don't even gotta. I don't even gotta comment on it, but
Yeah.
damn, I still got this banner up. Um, I would say this that um, her and Roxy got to get it in blood for the title. I think
Okay.
that's her most. We're talking about confident. I think that's her most comfort space. I think that. I think that's her most. I think that's her comfort zone. I'm sorry, her comfort zone.
But she don't got the title anymore. I think Indy Hartwell has it. So and probably she's probably gonna drop it to Tiffany Stratton. To be honest.
I mean, so with that being said, you just gotta find a secondary feud that she can sink her teeth into. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? But I would say that I agree with you. She has something going.
Yeah.
Uh, for my number 5 underground performer of the week, I am going to. Damn, I gotta bring my drink back. Okay. For my number 5, I was gonna bring up Sol Ruka. Right, I'm saying that name right.
Yeah.
She's amazing. When you talk about raw talent and what she got going on, and what her finisher and everything like that, I think that she is amazing. Um, Number 4, Isaiah Cassidy. Now he ain't wrestled.
Okay. The performer of the week. Why?
That nigga so fucking funny, nigga. That nigga be moaning that. Yo, that shit be, bro. That shit be having me. I'm clearly
What is? Yeah. You're in tears for what?
the nigga be moaning, bro. Like that shit funny.
When?
That,
Where?
that nigga be like, and the crowd be like, this nigga be having the crowd.
When was this?
Bro. Man, one of them fucking shows, they run like 4 of them a week around this bitch, nigga.
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah.
Oh, nigga, it's either battle or nigga. He come out there with Matt Hardy. Yo, he did it in a backstage promo, nigga. He moaned in Jeff Hardy's ear, man. Oh my god, bro. He hugged that
I
nigga.
missed it.
And she was like, yo, my gosh, yeah, Isaiah Cassidy, bro, you are underground for sure.
Living the gimmick, private party.
Yo, niggas not really even fucking understanding. That's entertaining.
I gotta see this. Okay.
Oh man. Okay. Number 3. My number 3 underground performer of the week. I gotta put another woman in here, which I did, and it was your number 1. Tiffany Stratton is thebomb.com. Okay. I dig her style. And you know how I go. She's the one. You know what I'm saying? And I like your stilo. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany, I see she the prodigy. You know what I'm saying? She one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put her on the list. Number 2, which I guess is a little bit, I guess is controversial, but it's not because he ain't underground, but he's putting on. You know what? I'm gonna scratch that. I'm about to make a quick alternate scratch on that because.
But tell me who it was though.
Well, I mean, underground. I was just gonna. It would have been disrespectful.
Okay.
I was gonna put Orange Cassidy on the list.
Okay,
But
got you.
I'm gonna just do this. Last two is Xavier Woods for his match that he had on Friday night in his backstage promo with Gunther. And number 1 is gonna be the person that actually was his opponent, LA Knight, and then also his backstage promo that he had after the match. And we can flip-flop him around if you want, because I think Xavier Woods would be a little bit more significant and prominent going forward.
He has an Intercontinental Championship match next week against Gunther.
He does, but I do like that LA Knight has the innate ability to just be captivating. I mean, I know Xavier did a lot of leg work in that match that they had. LA Knight was hella entertaining, slowed it down a bit, worked his pace. Also was I like his facials. I like it. I mean, I know I say he looks like a creative character because he does. You know what I'm saying? But I do love the fucking LA Knight elbow drop. I fucking in the backstage segment where, he was just like, listen, yeah, I lost. I'm still the most entertaining thing here. I'm the top prospect here. I mean, he did the whole heel shtick, but when you talk about somebody that's really good at their gimmick, really good at their job, and just maybe underlooked or overlooked or undervalued, I would say we got to really start paying attention to LA Knight. The company, not I know we do, but just throwing him a little bone here now and then. But I know he's doing the bid right now. He's doing what he got to do. He's doing it well, and I think I just wanted to give a nod to him and Xavier this week.
That's what's up, man. That's a good list, man. I want to give a little nod to them too as well. I wasn't sure if I'm going to put them in the underground performer of the week, but definitely deserve a lot of credit for what they're doing over there. And I'm glad Xavier's getting some shine on his own since Kofi's injured, Biddy's injured. He's getting that shine to get a opportunity against the Intercontinental Champion next week, and in a match he's never had a chance to compete for that belt. So shout out to Xavier, shout out to LA Knight, because that guy is over. Yeah, the dude is over. So shout out to LA Knight. So let me kick off my top performers of the week, and it's not too surprising. I mean, it's the same guys I've been talking about possibly for the whole past 5 months. But this is what it's going to be like. Likely to stay the same because they're kicking ass still. But I will go with number. Wait, what was it? Number 5. Like it was Orange Cassidy. He definitely is stepping up in his match performances and what he's doing. So got to hand it to Orange Cassidy what he's been doing. People are saying he's one of the best wrestlers. I don't know. I would say that, but he is definitely great. Number 4, gotta go to Solo Sikoa, man. He's on my list this week, man. That dude is killing it. Definitely that presence he brings to the bloodline is necessary. That enforcer role has now really taken on a life of its own. Matt Riddle came for his get back, and he got fucked up again. He got the table dumped on top of him.
But that's going back to protecting the character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think Cody should have won. Clearly, I don't think Cody should have won it. You should have cast doubt. And when you sacrifice Solo for Cody, you say Cody has to win. That loss to Cody, what does that do for Solo now? You keep him unbeaten. You keep him strong. You have a DQ. You have a non-finish. That shit matters. That shit matters, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that You didn't need. He could lose that match. He obviously, clearly, because he's still kicking ass now. So yeah, he's strong. You don't need. He didn't need to. He didn't need to be undefeated. I mean, Cody got the victory. Went to WrestleMania to compete. So I got number three, being Becky Lynch, because I think that she is doing some great work on the mic, in the ring, and going unnoticed all across the board. And that sell that she did with Chris Stratus, I thought was phenomenal. So yeah, shout out to Becky Lynch for really putting together and holding down this angle with the tag team champion Lita Stratus and Damage Control all through past couple months, and then now the promos she did when Lita got hurt, and then the sell she did. That match actually was really good. Period. Like that tag team match was really good with Liv
And
and
she had to work.
yeah,
She
she worked,
had
man.
to motherfucking
Liv
work.
and Raquel got the new tag champions, but that match was dope. Go back and watch it if you guys haven't checked it out. Even Trish did her thing. All of them did their thing, but Becky Lynch got to be on there for this week. Number two, I'm going to the tag team champions, Sami Zayn and KO. These guys are super entertaining, giving Matt Riddle that push to say, listen, hey, are you sure you want to go out there from Sammy? And KO say, nah, nigga, like you got to get out there and get your get back. Like, putting Matt Riddle in that position where he has to think about competing against the bloodline. Like, you sure you want to be involved in what we're doing here? Because you can get hurt. I think the storytelling aspect, I mean, shoot, I want to even bring Paul Heyman into this as like an honorable mention because he's adds that layers to, the storytelling aspect. Um, and then eventually, them Matt Riddle helping Matt Riddle, but he ended up getting hurt in the long run via Solo Sokoa. And number one, Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes, man. I think he's right now.
What?
Cody Rhodes is number one due to the promo he had right now. I think that's what I'm interested in seeing this week. What's happening with Cody? He's the hottest. Well, I could go with the LWO. I want to give them some love too because they had a lot of work this week that was interesting. But I got to go with Cody. He's what I want to see next week. He's been. I want to see what's going on with him and Brock. So, and him and his promo was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's number one off of promo.
Maybe I should give it to somebody else, but shit,
No,
I just came up with the list. I didn't think too much about the list. I'll be honest with this week. I'm just go see your list.
All right. So my list, number 5. I gotta give some love to. I just put him down listening to your list, so I had to go back and raise him up a little bit. Matt Riddle's on my list. Coming back, being important, being intricate in the storyline, performing well, still selling well. I want you so I want you tonight. I want you being real intense. I mean, adding some level of realistic emotes out there. You know what I'm saying? So Matt Riddle's on my list. Number 4, I'm going to give to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The tag team champions individually with their matches that they've had. Right? KO, Sammy, both had individual matches that happened on SmackDown and on Raw. The promos that they've had, the backstage segments that they had. Now Kevin Owens was attacked and he was back, and I thought that was pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? From Friday to Monday, but hey,
right. You know
what I'm saying? We heal up.
They did come up. They came in for the save. A little bit late, but they came in.
You know what I'm saying? We get. Kevin Owens is like, yo, I got attacked, but I'm gonna go after.
He's like, I've been through worse.
I'm like, nigga, what? All right, you know what I'm saying? So, number 3, Solo Sikoa. That nigga's a problem. And you tell him.
I got this.
Got it, nigga. Like, shut the fuck up. You ruining them like then he ended Raw. Then he ended what show is that he ended talking that talk in their language. You know what I'm saying? He was talking crazy shit after beating that nigga ass. And then at the end of the night, I know he was saying some shit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to that nigga Solo. Number 2, Orange Cassidy. Man, that nigga's Russell was his hands in his pockets. I mean, I thought it was stupid. I thought it was immature. I thought it was, but after that, like honestly, like I'm not gonna hold you. Listening to Tony and JR, like they gotta call it, right? You know what I'm saying? But they're like, hey fellas, I know you watching this on TV and thinking this is stupid, but I'm telling you, he did a kip up with his hands in his pocket. Hard.
That's real.
That's fucking hard. He's doing tope suicidas with his hands in his pocket. You know, most niggas die to protect themselves. No, he's going out and you know what I'm saying? So and Buddy Matthews ain't nothing to fuck with. He's nasty.
Yeah.
And he wrestled that nigga with his hands in his pocket. So shout out to Orange Cassidy and winning, you know, and winning, which is crazy. Number 1, I think this is going to be not received well. But my number 1 wrestler and performer of the week is Sting.
Oh God. Get the fuck out of here. You lying. You are fucking lying. You are fucking lying, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Number 1 performer of the week is fucking Stang. Stang. Showtime is over. It's been over. Man, I got a whole rant on the You're trying to trigger me, huh?
If Cody can be number 1 on your list from a promo, my nigga is Sting.
Nigga just got at me for Cody. And then he's like, a promo, really? And then gives it to Sting. All right. You really want to see what Sting got in store for next week? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm bullshit.
Get the hell out of here.
Bullshit. I'm bullshit. That nigga threw pom-poms at that nigga face.
Yo, he throwing pom-poms at that nigga. What the fuck?
And just kept getting them shits out of the like.
I forgot to even bring that up. Like, what the fuck was that?
Nah. My number 1 wrestler of the week, man, without a shadow of a doubt, Roman Reigns.
You give Roman Reigns your number 1 spot every week.
No. That's not true. No, I don't. That's not true.
He's not on TV.
That's the okay, but what I'm trying to okay, listen. Roman Reigns' fear over every fucking body in that building facility nigga, he got if he unlocking Solo with some mind manipulating robot nigga, you saw what niggas did with Ultron.
Yeah, you gotta drop him at least a little bit.
Solo, my nigga.
I mean, I get you, but you gotta drop him to like 2, 3 at least. He's not on TV the whole week. Like, yeah, you can say that still. He can be on your list, but this guy can't be number 1 for this week. This guy hasn't been on TV. You know, if anything, Paul Heyman deserves a spot because he's the one who's.
I was talking for him. Hold on. Listen, You got Cody as your number one off a promo, and he not even going back after the fucking titles, nigga.
You can't
So,
say
like,
Roman if he ain't on TV at all, though.
why I can't? Hold on. How you gonna tell me on my fucking list?
How you gonna tell me on my list?
I'm just
At least my guy was on TV.
okay. Your guy on TV talking about I got my ass. I was the better Roman. You was the better man. No, he wasn't. He cheated. But you a pussy, and that's your number one wrestler of the week. Out of here. Cody's a Cody.
All right, we gotta do better with the list next week because this is getting out of hand. This is getting the guys. We have to have somebody that's number one, at least on TV. You know, and maybe hopefully they wrestle.
No. I mean, I get. Is it egregious to not put Kenny Omega on the list?
Maybe
Is it egregious to put, not to put fucking,
MJF. I don't know.
But fuck all that. No, again, Roman runs the company.
No, I hear you. If you're looking at it from a power ranking standpoint,
well,
Roman
no,
should be
up
there.
No, I'm not. It is a combination of the two. But again, he influenced. Listen, look at the people that's on my fucking top 5 performers of the week. It's Riddle. It's Solo. It's Sammy and KO. Nigga, the only AEW wrestler is Orange Cassidy. Roman Reigns is influencing these niggas to be top performers. Otherwise, like you say, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy, my nigga. You see what I'm saying? Solo Sikoa is still in NXT, about to wrestle for the North American Championship, nigga. Matt Riddle don't come back because he don't have shit to come back because Randy's gone. Like, bro, these niggas ain't got shit going on if this big dog ain't the big dog. And I understand it. Cody was on the list because he was on TV talking about something that is relevant. But what I'm saying is that Cody got knocked down. How Cody as your number one, and he was the number one going into WrestleMania because he had all his momentum. He had all his riding around. He even had good matches. Now Cody's just down to a promo in a good suit, and he's back to number one. But you complain about the tribal chief.
It was a really good promo.
It wasn't a really good promo.
Yeah, it was.
It was. I mean, okay. Let's be honest. Cody had a really good promo. That is Cody. What else?
Roman wasn't there. What else?
I mean, Roman's still the champion and influencing and manipulating people that is on TV that are doing good work. What else, nigga? Because he ain't manipulating Cody right now. Brock's under that bitch ass nigga brain. Man.
My list is my list. I stand on it. I got a better list than you, dog. I'll tell you right now. At least I have a woman on my list. I'm going there.
Wow. Get me filthy. I was thinking about it. Ain't nobody really.
Sometimes it be like that.
I told you. I was like, shit, who top? Damn, all niggas, I'm gay.
No, sometimes, yo.
And with that is reasonable wrestling.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening.
This nigga is crazy, dog. Yeah, shout out to yo, man. I said, yeah, fuck it. Listen, all is love. Everything is wrestling. Look at the fuck out of here, yo. It's 1:00. Oh my God.
Peace, man.
I had something in my mind. I was bringing it up, but fuck it, I forgot it. Fuck it.
We out.
We out. Peace.